Good evening, everybody. Dude79 here, just doing a quick mic check to make sure you can hear our sultry baritones.
Hey, welcome to Wednesday.
Welcome to Wednesday. We'll be live in just a moment. No, Panda, you're right where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I'm the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone.
Yeah.
What's going on, dude?
Not a whole lot. It is the midweek. It's been a long week already.
Yes, it has.
Ready for the weekend.
He is ready for the weekend because he has a weekend full of painting and housework.
Mm-hmm.
He works all week just to work on the weekend.
Yeah, and I don't even do as much work as my better half. She does a lot of it.
Oh, we already knew that.
Supervise and take breaks.
Yeah, we already knew that. That was just a fucking given. I know you don't do shit, and I know Britt does everything.
All I want to do is play Helldivers right now.
Ah, we will be talking
We'll
about
definitely.
Helldivers extensively here in a little bit. But Tone,
Yeah.
first of all, here we go again. Thoughts and prayers. We don't typically touch on too many real world issues just because it's a shit world right now. But unfortunately today in Kansas City at Union Station, while they were celebrating the Super Bowl win for the Kansas City Chiefs, three dickheads went through, or it was two or three, I think. I don't even know how many there were. Went up and shot up the entire party that was going on there. Multiple injuries. I believe 18 people were shot. 9 of them were children. You're a fucking monster. That's it. A fucking monster. And I know at least one person has lost their life already.
Mm-hmm.
One of them died. So, cool. We're just thoughts and prayers again, and we'll just not do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, it'll just be the next one until the next time, the next time, the next time. Thoughts and prayers for everybody. It's fucking irritating, man. So seriously, our hearts are out to everyone that was affected by this, to the person that lost their life, to the children who were injured. We have fucking failed.
Mm-hmm.
We have failed. And it's just, you know, it's shit like that, dude, where like, for example, Saginaw, we live in Saginaw. Saginaw does not have the best reputation.
Right.
You know, and every time the 4th of July comes around, I'm like, man, do we want to go downtown to watch the fireworks? And in recent years, it's just like, I'm now legitimately, you know, I want to go, and we usually go somewhere else where I know it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you just always wondering, like, when's it going to happen again?
It's to the point now, and like as somebody who grew up around guns like all the time, and comfortable around them, truth be told, but like I don't. It's hard to go into like the concert I went to a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I had like in line. The first thing I always think of when we're in groups of people, I'm like, should I be on the lookout for anything nutty? You know
Can't
what I mean?
relax,
Like,
dude.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, I also believe in the mantra of not living in fear. Don't get me wrong.
Yep, don't want to give in. Yeah.
Don't. I still don't. You know, make it so I don't do things. But like, it's shitty that that's now something that in my life I have to in the back of my mind think about. We went to Whorehound weekend last year, outside of Cincinnati. You know, Drast and me, you know, Mike and Half-Ass, and they had no security detail. And even Josh is like, this is fucking like a little weird for me.
That's wild.
Yeah, you know, nothing. Yeah, so it's shitty that we have to think like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, what are you supposed to do?
See, it's weird because like if it's just myself, you know, and maybe my wife or like another friend, and we go to an event, I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, oh yeah, let's have some fun, and you know, whatever happens. It's not even like at the forefront of my mind. It's not even like subconsciously there.
Yeah.
But when I take my kids somewhere,
Yeah,
that's where I'm just like, okay, now I got to be fucking ultra observant, RoboCop, you know, scan everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just, it's fucked up, man. I just don't want to. I don't want to put them at risk, but at the same time, you don't want them to live in fear and not go out and experience it. You want to take them to baseball games. You want to take them to parades. You want to take them to parties and gatherings and shit like that. But when stuff like this happens, I mean, it's a fucking Super Bowl parade, dude.
Yeah, I know.
There was 1 million people down there.
Yeah, it's wild.
And you know, in Prime, we both saw a video on social media where you can see one of the gunmen running through the crowd, and he gets tackled by a couple of like other people that are standing around, Good Samaritans, and like they tackled him, they're holding him down, waiting for the cops to go up. How is that dude not getting his head caved in?
Yeah.
I mean, set an example right there. I mean, yeah, it's taking a long road. But I mean, seriously, with your adrenaline running, knowing this guy just shot a bunch of people, how is he not getting the living shit kicked out of him?
Yeah.
It's wild, man. But I mean, kudos to those guys that tackled him, and you know that's great. But here we go again, dude. It's just like it's never ending here. It's a vicious cycle, and it's fucking disappointing. And it's, you know, it just kills me when you sit there and read 9 kids shot. It's like, how do you fucking? I mean, I don't know, man. It's fucked up, and it pisses me off.
Does. I think you met fellas, but hey, House.
What's up, man? House?
What up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks, brother.
But anyways, Tone, what's going on with you? Well, first of all, please talk about
First,
this.
yeah, that's what I want to talk about more.
I just want to keep drinking.
I know this isn't like super new. I had one in my fridge, still hadn't tried it yet because my good buddy Jeff hooked it up. But Faygo had dropped this a few months ago, the orange cream soda.
Yeah,
it hasn't been super easy to find in the area, and I don't leave my house too often, but I do always check anywhere I go. Anywhere I go, I check the cabinets for it, and I've only seen it tonight. Actually, it's the first time I've seen it in my liquor store, so I picked one up first to try it. I've been wanting to try it. Figured it'd be the best to do it on a show, so
Dude,
bottoms up a little bit. The
it's
orange
so
cream soda.
fucking good. It's really good. I'm probably going to end up drinking yours. You're not going to be paying attention. I'm just going to reach over and just chug it. Isn't it good?
Listen,
I don't know, man. Faygo is like king in my life.
it is,
so.
and like I don't drink Faygo as much as I used to, but like a lot of times I drink soda these days is because yes, it's a Faygo orange cream soda Dreamin' is what this is called. With a little But when I want a delicious soda, typically I'm trying to get caffeine out of them. You know, most of Faygo does not have caffeine. But there are flavors of Faygo. And listen, if you're not familiar with Faygo because you're not around, you know, the Midwest, you know, Faygo is a Detroit brand soda. You know, it's been around for a long ass time, much like Verner's as well too, which I already polished off one because I had a tummy ache. Oh, you can't see?
Yeah, it's invisible.
You know, I had a tummy ache, so I had to use the Michigander medicine. which I did help.
Just rub some tussin
It's
on
the
it. Rub
ginger.
some burn around it.
Ginger's good for your tummy. It settles it. But the flavors of Faygo, everybody's got their favorite. There's
I was
always
going
a
to ask
pantheon.
you, top 3.
Top 3, easy. Number 1 is black cherry. Number 2 is candy apple. And number 3, I'm pretty sure it's a tie or near. It's with rock and rye. I don't know. It's tough because I love rock and rye like anybody else. Everybody usually loves rock and rye. Rock and rye is great, but there's so many other flavors. But that blue raspberry that I grew up on with that jazz and raspberry. But I also really like the bomb pop one.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so fucking good. And then you got this one coming out of the corner. So,
I'm traditional, man. Mine goes like I'm with J-Hop. Red pop.
It's so
pop,
fucking good.
And blue and the raspberry. The blue raspberry. Those are the two. Those are the 3 that I just fucking.
You
I can't get enough
find a red pop better, for one.
Fuck no.
2, grape soda. Growing up as a kid, I always got mad like when the grape and the orange were around. So I'm like, oh fuck, all the good ones are gone, right?
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, that's flipped because the Faygo grape soda
Yeah.
is unmatchable in the grape soda category.
Yeah.
It's so delicious. But
Cream
this
soda's
is-
good.
Yeah, cream soda's
What's
great.
up, Cuddles? Cuddles is late, man. He was playing
definitely
Helldivers.
playing
I
Helldivers,
guarantee you he
it,
was
but,
playing. He's probably doing his dailies.
He definitely was. But yeah, last thing I'll say is you want to try some crazy flavors. The diet flavors have some flavors that you don't see too often, like the chocolate cream pie and the coconut cream pie. You can sometimes find them at Meijer's. They are diet, but it's worth alone just to try the flavors. So Faygo knows how to make soda, period. I'm a super fan. So if you grew up as a kid in Michigan,
you know what it's all about,
You
man.
know what it's all
Faygo and Colgo hot dogs, man. That's all it was.
I mean,
That's summer right
serving
there.
the curve and drinking some. Yeah,
Red
absolutely.
Pop, Better Made chips,
Oh,
and Colgo Viennas.
We living good around here.
Fucking
That's why we love
summer. That's the only thing you eat
the-
at summertime.
Yeah.
GTA.
Whoa,
He's on the
wait,
GTA
what?
RP.
Wait, what?
He back down that RP hole.
Oh, you mean the guy that's swore off GTRP? I don't know,
He's back.
42 times and
back,
he's back.
Rufus.
Yeah, goes back to it. Just can't leave it alone.
That's hilarious, man. No, that's awesome.
Jesus.
Did you stream it or were you
Yeah,
live with it? I'm gonna have to go back and watch the VOD. Leave me the fuck alone.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I know you were streaming last
Got
night.
him.
I wasn't home last night. I really wanted to pop in because I assumed you were probably on some Helldivers or something. But
We were.
oh, you guys were.
Yeah, we played Helldivers
I
last
wasn't
night.
around last night, but right on. Well, hey, I guess yay for GATRP being back again. I don't know. Better Made original. Listen, I'm not really a potato chip guy by nature, and if I'm gonna get a potato chip, like
I go original. Yeah.
plain ass. See, I don't like plain ass fucking potato
See,
chips.
I like their plain ass potato chips.
Well, that's just it. Like
Yeah.
they're quality, but like they've got so many good flavors. And again, it's one of those things where like the Better Made chip is a Michigan, Detroit staple. Like there isn't a potato chip that really can like equate to how good those are. Like they're really. I mean, it's in the name. They're better made. They're absolutely delicious. But their barbecue is so good.
The thing is, don't just sit on there. Don't just sleep. No, don't eat just the chips. They're cracklins. Those Better Made cracklins.
Oh. Have you tried all the flavor? Have you gotten down in like because they've got.
They got like a salt and vinegar one, don't they? Yeah.
You had that one?
Yeah.
Well, I like the extra crispy like ones that are spicy, like in
those,
the little
those
bags.
the little packs. Those are the best ones.
Those little packs are the best.
Those are the best ones.
Sometimes
Because I'm not talking about the pork rinds. I'm talking about the actual
right. No, the cracklins. Yeah. The little
cracklins,
bag
yeah.
of cracklins. Holy fuck!
I actually went online to their site
You can get
to
boxes
see
of
if I
stuff.
could get those. You cannot
No.
order the cracklins
No,
on their
but you
site.
can get boxes of chips though.
Oh, you can get the chips, but I'm not there for the
No,
chips.
you
I
want
want
the
them fucking cracklins, dude.
That's
Those
funny.
cracklins are so crunchy. Like sometimes they hurt your teeth.
Yeah.
But like, man, the seasoning
The
that they put
flavor.
on it's so money, dude. It's so good. The cracklins,
Even their popcorn, the Better Made popcorn, like
I
the
actually
white cheddar popcorn.
I do like
or whatever,
their
the
cheddar. Yep, their popcorn is really good. Better Made Tony, man. If we ever do a B&B meetup in the
Pretzels.
summer, all we're drinking is Faygo,
Yeah.
eating Better Made chips, and
getting
Colgo
Colgo hot
Viennas.
dogs. There you go.
Yo, the updated Twitch mods makes it easier to ban, timeout, and delete messages. What?
Good. It's tricky here.
Yeah, just wait for Crash to drop his thoughts on Deadpool, and then have Cuddles go ahead and
Yeah,
just delete
his
everything.
Inconsistent controversy. He
Oh, he's gonna be so mad when he shows up and if he reads that or hears that on the VOD. He's talking shit. He's talking shit. Let's see. What did I do this weekend? I watched the Super Bowl. I was depressed the whole time because the Lions should have been there and they should have killed the Chiefs. The commercials were fucking dope. We'll talk about some of the trailers here in a little bit, but off the top of my head, the commercial that just resonated with me the most was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one for State Farm where he was saying "Neighbor," And they were like, no, it's neighbor. And he's like, I said neighbor. And then at the end, Danny DeVito shows up to help with it. And dude, it was like, I was just like, oh, that was fucking.
Are they still working on that?
I don't know. I thought I heard they weren't. Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in it too.
I thought it was Tracy Morgan was going to be like their.
Oh, is
like
Tracy
third
Morgan
twin.
going to be the guy now?
Yeah, I just don't. I'd be worried about having Eddie Murphy in there, but Tracy Morgan is
Tracy
a walking.
Morgan, yeah.
He's a walking comedy bit.
He really is. He really is.
So he would fit because Danny DeVito is too. So I feel like he'd fit in there really well. But no, well, I mean, Trick is a mod, but I meant for you like being able to ban him. That's all I meant by that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's what he meant. But yeah, the Super Bowl was the Super Bowl.
Halftime though.
Usher, dude, when Luda came out, I was like, okay, we're playing for keeps now. But like, Cuddles mentioned he was really hyped. I thought it was a decent show, but in the pantheon of halftime shows, I don't think it was lights out. I mean, still for my money, Prince is probably
I'm a big MJ guy, so Prince and MJ.
The MVP. The Michael Jackson show was actually fucking dope too. We've had some good ones.
Dre and Eminem were good last couple years too.
Yes.
Rihanna was actually pretty all right last year too, but I still think that one of the best performances in recent history, just by the way she was running around, and like she also doesn't do a lot of lip syncing like a lot of pop stars, but Gaga did a really great job.
Lady Gaga did good. Yes.
Yeah, it was a good halftime.
The start was slow. It was slow. The whole game, like the first half, I was just like, a whole time in the first half, I'm sort of going, man, we would have fucking killed the fucking Chiefs. We would have killed the Chiefs.
What did
so disappointed.
What did we do Sunday? Well, we watched movies, and I think I played with my balls a little bit, and then
you actually played games with us. You played Helldivers with us.
Then I played some Helldivers during the day. I got some time for that when it worked.
Fuck, man. They've released several. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just get to it. Let's just get to it. Oh, Tone. Before we get to that though, just a quick reminder.
We are weeks away from March 2nd, March 3rd for the Midwell Comic Con, and man,
oh shit, we are 2 weeks.
If you're
2.5 weeks.
I don't want to say. If you're following anything on social media on this with Paul or the Midwell Comic Con, every day there's new stuff. There's a lot of stuff banging out. Like tomorrow, as a matter of fact, we're getting the internet hooked up for us to be able to actually stream and stuff like that. So we got a lot of things going on for sure. So if you're able to make it, great. If you can't, reminder, we will be streaming not to Twitch that weekend, so we can get to more people and to the outreach of the Midwell Comic Con and Fets. We'll be streaming to both simultaneously YouTube, our YouTube channel. So if you're not following that, check the socials out. It repeats. Check that. Follow us, sub there, watch that there, or on Facebook through Facebook page and the Midwell Comic Con. Hopefully as well too if it's
more people and less cuddles. Come on. We'll make you a mod on our YouTube channel. Do we even have? We can't even do mods on YouTube, can we?
I don't know. Can we?
I don't know shit about it. Cuddles, if I can make you a mod on there, man, I will give you all the power, dude. I will give you all the power on our YouTube channel for all. Well, actually, we actually had a decent turnout last year, I think.
Yeah.
For views, because we went to all 3 last year, didn't we? Or did we just go? I don't think. I feel like we went to all 3.
I think it was the year before.
Was it the year before?
Maybe. I don't recall. But regardless, we just figured it'd be a better move overall for the Comic-Con because while it's really cool and the VOD ends up over there anyways, I think the normal viewer just doesn't watch Twitch like they would YouTube, especially like to the outreach and the general public that he might connect with. So we figure, it's more about the Comic-Con at that point than us, I think.
Right.
So
yeah. So that's the plan for that. Right? I can't believe that is seriously just over 2 weeks away. Fuck. I gotta start working on scenes.
I gotta
start putting things
actually,
together.
You really should work on some fucking scenes, you piece of shit.
I actually gotta talk to you. We gotta work on getting the Presto. What's up?
Oh, what up, dude?
I haven't seen Presto in a hot minute. I gotta work on. I want to use your camera and my camera at the same time. We're gonna get some serious.
I can bring it
footage.
over. You can fool around with it.
I'm actually buying a big ass USB hub. We're gonna have a lot of cameras. I've got things cooking. I'm really excited about
2 weeks and Amazon 2-day shipping. So
Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, we're gonna hop right into our first topic. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, but first we have a PSA for you. We'll be right back.
Super Earth, our home. Prosperity. Liberty.
Hi there.
Democracy. our way of life.
Oh, hello.
But freedom doesn't come free.
No! Sweet liberty! No! Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and the courage to be free.
Join the Helldivers.
Become part of an elite peacekeeping force!
See exotic new life forms. And spread managed democracy throughout the galaxy. Become a hero. Become a legend. Become a Helldiver.
That seriously never gets old. I love that opening, and that just encompasses everything about what makes this game fucking awesome. The sense of humor, the dark satire. I fucking absolutely love it. But Tone, we're gonna talk about Helldivers 2, man.
Yeah.
It's out. We've been spending a ridiculous amount of time. You actually played video games with us. You actually hopped into this and played video games with us.
And had a fucking great time.
We had a blast. A lot of us have been having a blast. Cuddles and I are super fucking awesome and happy because we finally have a game that the community plays with us. We actually have members of the community who are like, hey, let's play fucking Helldivers. We're like, what?
Yeah, Cuddles, it was the first time I'd played a multiplayer game in a while, and he was trying to figure out what it was that was last time we played a game, and I think it was actually Ghostbusters.
I think it was Ghostbusters, yeah.
Last
Spirits
summer, early
Unleashed.
summer, yeah. Cuddles, we were trying to figure it out, but it was Ghostbusters.
What came out first, Ghostbusters or Evil Dead?
Evil Dead did.
Evil Dead did?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But which, by the way, I want to play some Ghostbusters soon because I love that game. But
I'm down.
this game, man, I played it. So I played it with Sunday. I got to play with you for like 10 minutes. We were in a group.
Yep.
I played with Drastin for a couple hours because it wasn't working that day. Had a good time there. Got to check out the robots that look like Terminators that scare shit out of you. And then Monday night, the three of us were able to get some time there, you, me, and Cuddles. And I just, like I told you, like 2 or 3 hours went by, and when I was done, it felt like I hadn't blinked.
Uh-huh.
And I just had an absolute great time. And man, for me not really thinking I'd have the time to play, which I don't have a lot of time, but not really worried about getting it, and now playing it,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. Dude, first of all, like, just kudos to Arrowhead Games. They fucking did it, dude.
They did.
You know how many times, like, before this game came out, they were talking about, oh, it's a third-person shooter and bigger and better. And anytime you think about a sequel that goes bigger and better, more often than not, it kind of forgets where it came from. It forgets its roots, what made it so special, and it just gets, like, over bombastic and just nowhere near as good as the original is. And, dude, this game fucking nails it. They were able to go AAA. They were able to move it back to a third-person perspective, and it still manages to maintain the fucking goofy-ass satire, the chaotic action, the hilarity with team kills and dropping ordinances on one another. It is a fucking amazing experience so far. Even with all the server issues.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, live service games, you just gotta know that's gonna be a thing. They connect. I mean, it's just the way the world sucks. Either you bend the knee like everybody else and take it, whatever. That being said, nowadays when new games come out, you expect that, but they didn't. I know this is a trope probably, but they didn't expect the amount of people to enjoy it and be excited. So, like, without a beta testing their servers, they just got lambasted this weekend.
Yeah.
But they've, like you've said, have been, and you probably will talk about this, they've been consistent about trying to fix it constantly, and they've been very honest about it as well too. So that's that. I appreciate that more than anything.
Kudos to them, man. I mean, like, I know at first they weren't doing it too much on X, but their Discord, they've been communicating with everybody, and their Discord is just full of people, and like, they are constantly giving out information, and it's been just a fucking incredible experience. I mean, the way that it perfectly balances that intense, because it is, when it ramps up, it's an intense experience. It is very intense. It can be very stressful, but it's balanced out with the levity that comes from the team kills and stuff. And usually, like when you're playing something like this, if it's super intense and if you're team killing each other, the fact that you go into these missions with like 20 revives as a team kind of offsets that. You're just like, okay, it's not like it's over right away, so you can kind of jump back in and just kind of get back into it. But man, the gameplay loop here is so solid. It feels good to play. And, dude, this game is fucking gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
I mean, all the levels are procedurally generated. So, I mean, on some of the planets, it's kind of samey. The layout's different. But for the most part, the planets all kind of feel the same. But they're all different. There's day-night cycles. There's weather effects. So it kind of keeps that variety there. But it's the gameplay loop that just keeps pulling you back in as you continue to progress your character and unlock new stratagems and new weapons and new gear. And as you ramp up the difficulty, you get different mission varieties and operations to do. And it's just like, dude, we've only scratched the surface. I know Cuddles has got like 30 hours. I think I'm pushing 30 hours. And we're only still playing like in the challenging hard range. And there's still like 4 levels above that. And as the levels progress, there's even more different varieties or variations of enemies that we've come across. There's different operations, dude. It's like fucking... It's wild, dude.
That's fucking nuts. Like I mentioned Ghostbusters, and there was a reason I bring that up. Prior to this, I know we've all done the Diablos and did this, that, and the others, but as far as sitting down and playing a fun game, Evil Dead had that for a hot minute as well, too.
Yeah.
Like, multiplayer games, if you can find the right balance of a little bit of sweaty, a little bit of that levity, but having laughs and a good time, and like because we were clowning on Monday night, you know what I mean? We're having just a good time, and it's in a age of like everything's live service, everything's of this, everything's of that, everything's of this, that, and the other, like another one. This game feels like that Ghostbusters, where it's just like I don't care if I'm dying or even doing like having a bum mission or whatever. We're having a good time and it's fun, and man, I tell you especially when you got limited time like I have right now, be able to jump in for a couple of hours, strategize a little bit, have a game that takes inspiration from other things that I enjoy, but just sitting around and fucking around while doing it, man, I tell you, for my money.
Right. And the thing that I love about this game too, man, is like on the surface, it's accessible. You can just jump in, run around with some friends, blow shit up, knock out a mission if you can, and have fun and whatever. But for the people that really want to get to those higher difficulty levels, that's where you start to lean into the team more, the cooperation more, and strategizing with the stratagems. When you dropping those down, everyone's kind of bringing their own stuff. You got to communicate, work together, come up with a game plan, because it might seem like a chaotic mess, and it typically is the way these whether it's the automatons or the is it the tramids? What are they called? I can't remember what they're called. Transams. But they can come at you from all directions, but you can Terminids, thank you. And you can sit there and still strategize in between the rushes and plan out your attacks how you want to do stuff. And when you do that, that's where the game really shines. When you get able to sit there and coordinate your strikes and your defense stratagems, your support stratagems, and utilizing everything in cohesion with one another, dude, it is so fucking satisfying. It is so satisfying. And in the world, as you're exploring these worlds, there's all these hidden caches everywhere. You can find the medals you need. You can find the super creds, which is the in-game currency. The monetization, the store is very fair in my opinion. It's like super cheap, and you can gain most of the credits from like a couple of missions to be able to buy several of the items in the store.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no like real pressure to like spend real world money, even if you wanted to, even if you didn't want to.
It's like. It's amazing to me how it hits so many things that make a game great, and also at like this interesting balance as well too.
Brian's got. It's funny how Brian has.
I was reading it. I saw the irony.
That same game where I missed the 5 kilogram bomb. I think Brian killed himself 9 times. He used up half of our reinforcements because he thinks that he can drop an eagle strike at his feet and outrun it. And, like, he kept doing it. And, like, I think about the 6th time, I was like, is he trolling me? Like, is he doing it? Is he trying to, like, get a reaction? He killed himself 9 times. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
At that point, he just
I was just like, you can't outrun that, right? You can't outrun the eagle strike. He just kept doing it. It's like a kid that doesn't learn his lesson when he touches the stove. He's like, oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. He just keeps doing it. You're like, what are you doing, bro?
Isn't it better just to kind of, like, toss it out? maybe.
But I mean, at the same time, though, I mean, that's the nature of the game, and like when you are surrounded by the Terminids or bugs or whatever, sometimes your only option is just to throw something down and run for your fucking life. And more often than not, for Brian, anyways, it doesn't work. But it's a lot of fun with friends, man. I'm telling you, if you get a group of 4, I mean, he's trying to create a tactic.
It is a tactic.
I mean, it is. It's a tactic, all right. It's a kamikaze tactic,
Right.
and it eats up all your fucking reinforcements. But it's a bold strategy. But Tone, here are the things that I want to ask you though. Like,
yeah. Ask me away.
you know, right now we have several planets. The game is procedurally generated, so we should have some variety to these missions and these planets and whatnot. Shut up, I was wearing heavy armor, which slowed me down. Again, I wouldn't throw those at my feet if I was wearing heavy armor. That's all I'm saying.
Any armor.
Or any armor for them. And I just wouldn't throw them at my feet and think, I'm going to outrun it. It didn't work. After the 5th time, I thought you would have figured that out. But I digress. But, Tone, I want to ask you, man, like I said, we've got 2 enemy types right now, the Terminids and the automatons. Right. The levels are all procedurally generated, so they give us some variety. My question is, like, going forward, does this game have the legs?
Well, you know that it's always the $1 million question. Like, what is long term like look on these games? What do we have for a roadmap? That's what I'm trying to say. So, right now, I think it's fitting the bill perfectly. Like you said, a gameplay loop. You know, enjoying the grind and stuff like that. But you know, we all know as gamers, 2 or 3 weeks down the road, we're looking at our watches, going, okay, is there more? Or what's the next game, kind of thing. So. Yeah, I'm hoping, and I'm going to guess with the success initial amount of money, because I don't think they anticipated getting all these pots of gold right at the beginning.
No,
they did, because a lot of people, I mean, it was like topping charts of Steam sales and everything like this, like all over, just making some money. So they've got to be going, okay, shit, we better have some things planned, or maybe they already had some plans for longevity. So we need to hear something. And I don't think they've said a whole lot, have they, if anything?
In terms of the roadmap, yeah, but we did get some tidbits of information today, and Brian alluded to one of them. First of all, Helldivers was the first PlayStation game to pass 100,000 concurrent players on Steam. Wow. Now it's also the first PlayStation game to pass 200,000.
Jesus Christ.
By far, Sony's most successful PC launch ever, and looks to be performing very well on PlayStation 5 too. Big success for Sony and Arrowhead. And, dude, I mean, that is massive. I mean, I can tell you right now, Arrowhead is a small studio. The first Helldivers game was more of a niche product. Because it was a top-down twin-stick shooter, that doesn't really hit to a lot of people. But when you moved it back to a third-person perspective and made it more accessible to a lot of people, more appealing to a wider audience, take that gameplay that was so good and add it to a game that's going to attract more people, this is what happens.
Right.
A lot of people are playing it. But, so now they got to improve their servers. They have all these people playing. It's by all accounts, it's being just revered by critics. Like, people are just loving this game. And so the CEO and the creative director of Helldivers 2, he went on X today and said, with the success of Helldivers 2, we are going to start looking for more amazing developers that can help us accelerate and beef up our content plans. Jobs will be going up soon, but if you're a senior dev, there's always the open application. Enlist today. So, I mean, that's huge right there. Help us accelerate and beef up our content plans. So whatever they had in the pipeline, and their internal roadmap that they have yet to share with us, they already realized, fuck, we need more people, and we need to start getting more content out.
Yeah, same thing I thought.
So now I can only help but wonder. Now, Brian, I'm pretty sure there was 3 factions of enemies in the first Helldivers. We have 2 here now. I'm assuming they have the 3rd ready to go, and they'll probably introduce that at some point. But after that, man, I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect. Yes, the Illuminatis, yep. And that they were a totally different race of like enemies, and they had different styles. So it'll be really interesting to see how they're able to continue to grow. I'm assuming that faction is probably already close to being ready to go. It's probably one of the first big drops on their roadmap whenever they do reveal it. But the fact that this game is just selling like gangbusters on Steam and on PlayStation 5, they have a major hit on their hands. And dude, it's something that Sony has needed for a while in terms of like, it's not a first party studio, but it is exclusive to the console. And they haven't had too many great cooperative experiences from like their Sony studios.
Right. This is they needed a game like this to be able to do that. Absolutely. Already 1 million sales. Yeah, man, it's wild. Seven said that the whole conquest style they're going for with securing the planets does definitely help drive that freshness. It's like you're trying to push back. It's like an ongoing war kind of thing. That is
like,
pretty neat.
On the first Helldivers, you could actually win the war And then
That's
and
cool.
then it would just recycle and start up again. But there was still a hell of an audience over there playing that game. I actually hopped on it a couple times before launch of this, and there's a lot of people still playing Helldivers 1 at the time.
Well, it's supposed to be a great game, right?
But this time now, there isn't a way to actually win the war. You just kind of win battles, but then other things are going to break out. So it's going to be a kind of this continuous cycle. Different planets will open up. And yeah, dude, for $40, you're paying like a budget title price for this sort of thing, and you're getting great gameplay. Dude, this is exciting, man. Like I'm just really just happy for Arrowhead, because seriously, man, they are such a great developer, and they took a huge risk by making this a bigger, better sequel and changing some of the stuff around. But man, for them to be able to maintain the stuff that made the first one so good, kudos to them, man. It's fucking great.
And let's be honest, like as somebody who prefers third person over first person normally, to be able to take a game that was like an isometric shooter to go to third person, but the mechanics work really well. It's a very comfortable feel.
Yeah.
I mean, gee, that's not fucking easy to always do, to take your
It really isn't.
to just completely change your mechanics.
Feels
So,
good to play.
Yeah.
So I'm just really honestly, the crossplay is really good. The crossplay is good.
yeah.
I'm hoping we get cross progression at some point. But this is a title now. You know, we know tomorrow. Microsoft is having their business meeting where they'll talk about the strategy of Xbox going
Excited
forward.
to see that.
I do kind of hope at some point, for the sake of Arrowhead, I think this is a game that Sony should consider bringing to other platforms.
Yeah.
Because Arrowhead, I mean, $40, get this over on Xbox. Maybe even, I mean, I don't know if the Switch will be able to run. Maybe the Switch 2, whenever that gets announced, whenever that comes out. But get this game in front of as many people as possible, because it is that good. And I do want Arrowhead to excel, or to do well. Make it free to play after a year. I mean, shit, dude, add it in part of Plus. Put it when you launch it on Xbox. If that's the case, then put it in PlayStation Plus, so those, everyone else can get it there for free for a while. I don't know.
Cuddles makes a good point too. The $40 is a good price point. Any higher, people would not have spent the money potentially on the unknown, and that's a fair point.
That's a very fair
I
point.
think 40 is one of those ones where, like, you know what, if I'm not out $60 or $70, I'll take roll the dice on it. But
And even with word of mouth, I think if it was a $59 or a $69 game, even with the word of mouth and the excitement, I don't think it would have done nearly as well if it didn't have that $40 price tag on it.
Yeah.
So just really, really awesome. Cuddles, I know you said you were gonna. Did you want to call in real quick and kind of talk about it for a minute? If you want to, man, I'll open it up. Up to you. I don't mind. I always like hearing from Cuddles, man. Oh, Dungeons is down to talk too. Fuck, man. Sure. Let me put my pants. Nah, man, pants. You don't need pants around these parts.
What are
What are pants?
How do you spell that?
Let me see here. Tone, tell us a fucking story while I get these guys in here. Man, improvise, man, improvise.
I had sushi for lunch today, and it was delicious.
Oh, where'd you get it from?
I got it from this place called Oishi Sushi in Novi.
Oh.
I wanted to go to the plated one, where the conveyor one, Drassen, that you went before Josh and I could go. We've been talking about for years, but I didn't want to. Unlike half-ass beer review, who wanted to leave me behind to go to Austin Brothers. I didn't want to try it because me and him have been talking about this for like 2 years. So I went to the other place just to get some sushi, and I had a really good eel roll, probably one of the best Unuku style rolls I've ever had. They had like 2 or 3 nice slices of avocado on top. It had the eel in the bottom, the eel barbecue sauce, and like some form of like crab meat inside of it, and like some cucumber sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It was a delicious. It's not usually a roll I typically get, though I do like eel rolls, but not with all the stuff. It was a delicious roll today. So let me tell you,
Pretty hot.
good stuff. Yeah, it was a great, nice little like Japanese like bistro kind of, like you get all kinds of noodles and stuff like that too, ramen. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Jesus.
Good atmosphere too.
That sounds really sexy. That sounds really
when
good.
it comes to sushi, man, I'm always looking to try something new. So
He's always down for some sushi. I'm just making sure these settings are right so they
Yeah.
actually work.
and I gotta put my headset on to hear these guys, I believe.
Yeah,
so,
you do. You want to hear the sultry baritones.
Yeah, I did have to drive to Detroit today to the airport where one of my locations for work was at. So it was basically a field trip day. But let me tell you, waking up before 6 a.m. is complete horse shit. And anybody that does that, I really feel bad for you. It's awful.
Yeah, I totally
It's
wasn't up at 5 o'clock playing
fucking
Helldivers 2 this morning.
Awful. You need to get a life.
I am kind of a fucking loser.
I
All right,
know.
I'm going to bring these guys on. What we'll do is we'll start with Cuddles first.
Yeah.
Get his thoughts on stuff, and then we'll let Drastin have the mic. That way we can just not everyone talk over each other. So let's get these guys on. Let's see if I did it right, Tone. Do you think I did it right? I think I did it right.
Absolutely not.
Are you serious? You don't believe me?
Suck.
You don't trust in me?
No.
All right. Drastin's muted himself, so I can't undo him. So we'll start with Cuddles. Cuddles, can you hear us?
Hi.
Audience, can you hear Cuddles? Try it again, Cuddles.
You better be able to hear me.
Ah, there he is. There he is. I think everyone heard him. I'm pretty sure I did it right. You're suppressed? Well, that's...
Yeah, we can hear.
Is
Okay.
he? Are you? What the fuck does suppressed mean? I don't know what suppressed means.
He's not.
Oh.
It's if I look at his name, it says he's muted.
Yeah, you might have to leave and come back in.
Yeah.
Might be on him.
We'll get to you.
Okay. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. All right, Cuddles. Now look, man. About a week and a half or so before Helldivers 2 came out,
Drill him, dude.
You flat out told me I don't know what the fuck this game even is, and I was like, bro, just check out this trailer. And you're like, I don't know, man. I'm playing Enshrouded, and I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get Cuddles. And he watched the trailer and he came back. He goes, you know what, man? This doesn't look too bad. Cuddles, I want to get your thoughts, man. Now that you got 15, 20 hours in, you were uncertain of this game at first. Where are you at on Helldivers 2, bro?
As an Xbox fan, it's a PlayStation game, but it sucks. I'm
Perfect.
over it. I've already deleted it off my hard drive. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. You kept bringing it up. I was like, what is this game? You know, and I kind of looked at the first one, and not that I don't like top-down games.
Sure.
I was kind of hesitant on it, but then I started, you started talking more and more and more about it. So I was like, let me actually watch some videos on it. And it definitely looked interesting. I love co-op shooters or co-op anything. That's my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
So I've really been enjoying it. I mean, other than connection issues, I haven't really ran into you don't really run into rubber banding or anything in the game, which is nice. Graphically, the worlds are actually pretty different. Each one you go to, the jungle map is just gorgeous. It's a pain in the ass. It's hard, but it is gorgeous. The explosions are probably the best explosions I've seen in any game. Especially when I'm dropping down, an airstrike, you're dropping down a bomb, Toad's out there throwing down a napalm, Drastin's throwing up a shield, all of it renders really well.
Yeah.
The gunplay feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think it's something as easy as putting in a contra command to throw something down would make things so much easier, but it's really not. You're in the midst of the battle and you got a charger chasing you and you're trying to throw down a revive because somebody's dead, and that's really the tricky part on it is putting those codes in.
I mean, fuck the revive. You're trying to call in an airstrike that's 8 button presses. You're like, what am I supposed to do right now?
Yeah, but he probably doesn't throw it at his feet either.
That's I don't remember seeing Cuddles throwing an airstrike at his feet. But Cuddles, continue, please.
Dude throws them at us sometimes, though.
I mean, that's just because I forget what your character. I thought I had the 30% on, but I didn't, and I accidentally killed a few people. I apologize.
He'll be like, that's a little short as it bounces off my chest and hits Drastin's foot.
Right.
But,
yeah, the wind knocked that one down. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but I'm really digging it. I've said this before. I don't know if this will be a game I mainstream here in another couple weeks, but it has that potential to where a Friday night I get an invite, dude goes, hey, I want to play this, or Tone or anybody else in the community. It's easy to hop in and play a match or two.
Absolutely.
Even if you're under level, you can still join the rest of your friends, which is nice.
See, that's what I like about it too, man. If I'm a higher level person and I jump into a level 2 player's game, and if they're going up on medium, it's going to be challenging. It's not like I have more HP or anything like that. I'm still just this fragile dude wearing fucking armor. And yeah, some of the armors are a little bit better as you rank up, but I mean, for the most part, you're not overly more powerful than somebody who's a level 2 or 3.
Yeah, not really, because I mean, even the armors, I don't know if they're really more powerful, because it seems like it's the same 3 or 4 stats on all the armors.
Yeah,
it's just all cosmetic from there. Yeah, you get better airstrikes and stuff like that, but for the most part, it doesn't feel like I'm overwhelmed by not playing and y'all out level me. Yeah. I can still hop in and do just as much damage and have just as much fun.
Right.
I like the variety of the missions. You would think they'd get very repetitive, but they really don't. And then some of them are easier than others, and then some of them you're balls to the wall the entire time you're in there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a bunch of cool pictures of just things blowing up behind me. It's a little
Well, there's a very
easier
famous,
said than done.
definitely a very famous TikTok that may have been put out a day or so ago by the Banter and Babble accounts that highlight some of your success when it comes to those sweet explosions.
I even slowed it down
I know,
in the video.
it was fucking
where he's
cool.
like running, and
Yeah.
you just see this bomb go off behind him. It just looks so cool.
Yeah. That's also in the midst of him reviving the two of us. and not long after that was when we come up to a base, and I think all three of us laid down like 2 or 3 strikes. It was like 4 or 5. I felt
It was a massive explosion.
Yeah, and we just went boom, 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 like, and then a napalm, and then another couple booms, and we're just going like, this is fucking awesome, and it looks cool when it's doing it. And then we walk up to the base, and there's nothing around.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
we
everything's
just
level.
Wasted the
that's what I
fucking
like
base.
about it too, man. Whenever you call in like the 500 kilogram bomb, or if you get a hell bomb, or if you shoot one of the nukes that are just laying in the field,
Yeah.
like the destruction to the map is actually kind of significant. Especially standing structures like buildings and whatnot. Those things would get fucking completely obliterated.
It's cool as fuck, man. Like, I don't know.
And I agree with Brian. The difference between the bugs and the Terminators,
Oh hell yeah!
is tremendous. Like the way you your game plan, the way you play,
God,
what you
yeah.
bring in, like you have to switch it up. I think the bugs are a little harder than the Terminators, personally.
Mhm.
The Terminators suck because they can shoot at you, but man, some of those bugs, especially
They
when you get
overwhelm
Chargers
you.
and Stalkers and all that, yeah, they're just on top of you right away.
Incredibly challenging at times, and that's again, it just has this way of like it'll hit you with the challenge, and at times again, it just seems like, how could we even like plan for this? But then when we do like go into a next mission, we're like, you know what, let's plan something, and then you start strategizing, and then all of a sudden it gets easier, and you're like, shit, man, why weren't we using this before? Or why weren't we trying this stratagem? I mean, it really benefits everybody to like really kind of go through the stratagems and be like, okay, I'm bringing in these ones.
Yeah.
My role is kind of going to be this. Somebody else is going to have these ones. You're going to be more in the fray, up close. And once you really start diving into that, I feel like that's where the strategy, and that's the stuff that's really going to come into play at the harder difficulties. Because I mean, Carlos, I think we've done challenging. Have you tried hard yet?
No, we never did. We were going to do it last night, remember, and we just never ended up doing
Right,
it.
but even challenging right now is like, man, we're still trying to like get a full grasp and understanding of how to get through some of these through some of these missions, because they do get very, very chaotic. So I don't know, man. I think it's beautiful, man. I think it's a great game. I think it's a lot of fun, and like, Cuddles, I know you're a multiplayer guy, man. Just hearing you sing the praises of it and how much you've enjoyed it, that just makes me feel good, man. Because like, seriously, I love the first Helldivers, and I'm just glad they were able to make the game more appealing to more people. And like guys like you are like, oh man, the first one, and that's exactly who I was referring to when Cuddles said he watched videos of the first one. He was like, not really my jam. It looks cool, but just not my thing. And that's kind of what the I don't want to say the only drawback of the first Helldivers was, but it was kind of more of a niche like game.
It was.
But then you make it more accessible, more appealing to more people. That's what you do, man. You draw it in, and it still has all the same elements that made it great.
DIS, guys! Exclamation mark DIS.
Oh, exclamation point DIS.
I've been asking for these commands for like 3 years, chat. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, well, they're out there somewhere.
But yeah, so y'all know me. I'm a social gamer. Anytime I got a chance to play with other people, that's what I want to do. So anytime I have a good co-op that we can all jump in, we can all sit there and bullshit. We might get quiet at times when it gets intense, but like for the most part, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but it's not at the same time. Like we can usually figure out a way out of whatever jam pickle we may find ourselves in.
Right.
So that's what I'm enjoying about it. Like I said, depending on the roadmap from here on out, I just also switch games every other week. So I don't know how long this one will actually keep my attention as far as playing every day or every other day, but
Sure.
it's definitely, I could see it for the next year or two being like Destiny was towards the end for me, where I could still jump in and play some matches and be happy with it.
Awesome.
I know like a lot of people are like, well, why don't they do weapon drops, stuff like that? I think the way they got it now is fine.
I think it's a perfect system.
Yeah, it caters to the casual gamer, right? Like I don't have to sit there and farm, run this raid, do this just to get that one weapon that's going to be tremendous, right?
Right.
So I hope they keep it this way.
Well, I do want to
And
ask you guys while I have you, cousin. I'll ask Dungeon this if he's able to get in here. What are off the top of your head? What are like 1 or 2 additions you would like to see them add to the current like layout that they have?
if they could add another enemy or two, and especially in the future, whatever, just to throw it off a little bit, maybe constantly keep changing the objectives. I don't know how easy or hard that is for a dev to do, but the different missions, there is a good variety of them now, but you know, I could see after a month or two of doing the same missions over and over again where it could get kind of repetitive. So maybe switching them up just a little bit. I feel like they're gonna have to add more equipment though. We're gonna run out of the equipment and everything we can buy within like a week or two.
I want
of
more control
playing,
over
so.
color options.
More
Yeah.
customization.
Customization of the
Yeah.
color options. I want to be able to, like, I hate to reference it out of nowhere, but like Halo, old Halo at least, would let you do different color wheels, or just games that will like let you like almost customize certain pinstripes and stuff like that. I think that would give it more of that that customizable feel that for people like me, you know, keep me interested.
Maybe even reduce the amount of different armors and just introduce also like I said, some color packs for the armor.
Yeah.
That's something else to unlock.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Color packs like that would be really nice. The other thing I would hope, I would like to see, you know, at some point is to add like little perks to the helmets and the cape. I don't even need them to add gauntlets or boots or anything like that. I like that it's more simplified. But if you want to, because right now on the capes and the helmets, there's no like perks. There's no like 30% chance or 30% arm strength. Like add maybe a couple more things, just 1 or 2 things to the capes and the helmets. I think that'd be cool. Allow you to kind of build, you know, when hopefully we get like fucking loadouts, you can build and customize a build that'll work for whether you're going up against the Terminids or the automatons or whoever the third party is going to be. I think that would really allow more, you know, kind of entice more people to go out there and grind and run missions so you can get the other armor sets and the pieces. Maybe have like a set perk where if you have all 3 pieces of a certain set, you get like an additional like a faster reload or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ways they could take it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish they, as far as the capes, I wish that would be the one piece they let you customize. Like put your own logo on the back, like customize, like everybody sees that. You know, kind of like a flag for other games. You know, you can customize your own flag stuff.
Put that B&B logo on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put the Cuddles teddy bear on your fucking
Put
cape,
a dick
bro.
on the back of it. Just a big old fucking wiener.
Oh, okay.
Squirting
Yeah,
everywhere.
do it like old school Call of Duty emblems. Remember you used to draw your own.
Yeah, you get 5 or 6 emblems and people out there just making dicks and everything.
Yeah.
Like, how did you even come up with that? Well, I took this and I angled it this way.
Right.
You really thought about this.
Like just a hairy cock squirting everywhere.
Yeah.
But like in like you know lower graphic.
No, higher. I want high def. I want 4K.
right. I want to see the fucking veins, bro.
Yeah, I want to see the swimmers inside of it.
Right. That's my favorite porn.
What
the
about a
close-ups.
horde mode like zombies? Well, I mean, technically they already do have a horde mode. What's that mode? The 10-minute mode, Cuddles. That's kind of a horde mode, isn't it? Where you got to hold down you got to kill like
Well, if it
150
was the 2-minute
creatures?
mode, it'd be called the dude mode.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of does have a horde mode as one of the operations. But if you mean like a
Was
standalone
it like
horde
Blitz
mode,
or
Blitz or something like that, where you got to
Yeah.
kill like 150 enemies or some shit. I just need my bow tie accessory. You got to kill and stop. I mean, that's throw a little tux on, a little tuxedo T-shirt for my Helldiver.
It could be some fun. I'm telling you, there could be some fun stuff. But
I just want to be able to take my helmet off. Just want to remove my helmet.
Hey man, they established that in the video. I want it in going no time.
Tricky.
Ongoing no time.
No, he wants it inside.
Oh, like an unlimited horde.
Yeah, like each wave gets progressively more and more difficult. So that Call of Duty Zombies, yes, like the original version where like every round was more and more difficult. That could be interesting. And I mean, that's as a live service game, I think that's something they could legitimately look at. I mean, obviously this is a game that they are going to have to support for a while because people are fucking loving it. And this allows them to kind of expand and grow outside of the modes they already have in there. So who knows how this game's going to look in 6 months to a year. I mean, Cuddles, I agree with Cuddles. Is this going to be a game I'm going to want to keep playing 6 months from now? And I'm willing to give them that time because obviously they're a small studio and they're hiring now. So I'm sure I'm sure they have a roadmap for like the first 6 months, but they probably, as a smaller studio, we also got to hold off and just see how we're doing sales-wise to justify putting more cost into content. But as of right now, they're on a fucking roll, dude.
Yeah, proof's in the pudding. Well,
So
The one thing I want to say before I'll address it on here, the biggest thing they need to fix to me is the matchmaking. Not
Yes.
only just between friends or whatever,
Mhm.
but you lose half the people in your friends list. It shows them either not where they're at or not online, whatever. But
Right.
even the randoms, like trying to join the randoms, I always get failed to connect. Failed to
oh yeah,
connect.
always.
Like they need to figure out a better way, like maybe join a lobby or something to be able to join random people, because this game's not meant to be played by yourself. You can, but it's not. It's you need those other people to really do what you need to do. But that's all I gotta say on it.
I'm gonna read this. They actually had a patch go out today, and one of the things that they mentioned in it goes, for this recent patch 1.006, prepared build for upcoming server matchmaking improvements. So the patch that went out today is kind of preparing the game on both PC and PlayStation 5 for those matchmaking changes that'll kind of drop behind the scenes. So hopefully with these changes and with the updates that we will start to see that matchmaking working where you can just, because that's one of the things that's the last thing I'm going to talk about this, and I promise I'll get drastic on here. The other thing I love about it, dude, is like if I come home and I turn on Helldivers 2 and I see a friend that's on a planet somewhere, you can typically join easily that way. And like all you literally do is just pick the planet, boom, you're above it, boom, you drop it and hop. I mean, it's super easy to hop in.
Yeah.
And especially it's the best if they're at the end of their mission and they're at the extraction, then you leave and you get all the fucking XP and all the shit.
Yeah,
And you're
man,
like, oh,
we've
thanks,
seen you
guys.
do that shit. Yeah, we're all aware of that.
Real fucking shady shit.
Yeah.
But Cuddles, man, we appreciate you calling in, bro. We appreciate hearing from you. I'm just glad that we all have a game, and I'm glad we got this guy to fucking play a game with us, dude.
Yeah.
Tone played a game with us.
And it's really good, and I enjoy it.
So we'll see him on again
Yeah.
probably at Christmas time.
Probably.
Awesome.
It turned me on. I had to give the old lady the best 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah, I
of
think
life
we had
that
to-
night. I was so
right.
pumped up.
I think we had to get a lot of like dick jokes in the first 5 minutes because it's been a minute since I played a game, and then it was
There
dick
was
jokes
a
the entire time.
lot of dick jokes.
There was a lot.
But I don't think you can run out of dick jokes. I don't know if you can
I
have
don't-
too many dick
no.
jokes.
You really
Yeah.
Plus,
can't.
it's always entertaining having Brittany in the background cuss at all the 10-year-olds while she plays
does
Call of Duty.
that.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic, dude.
Saying,
That was
yeah,
fantastic.
the
Even though she
things
won't
that
play
come
Call of
out her
Duty
mouth.
with me and dude, I will
I know.
say that. But
things that come out of her mouth.
yeah.
Yep, I know.
Like I'm an ex-sailor.
I
and
know.
I heard
And it's-
things
yeah.
that came out that I would have never
Even he was
thought of,
blushing.
Yeah,
right?
unbelievable,
So,
unbelievable.
But
Well, hey
I
man, we
love y'all.
appreciate you,
Yeah, I
brother.
appreciate it, bro.
All right, bye.
Take it easy. All right, I'm gonna see. Can I pull Drastin in here?
Well, he said when you did that.
I didn't pull him in at all.
Oh, maybe. So yeah, you pull him in. I don't know, drag him. Let's see.
I don't know.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do
Fuck
it
it, we'll
live.
do it live. All right, I think oh, here we go. I think I brought him in.
Did that work?
I think it
He's
worked.
muted.
He's still fucking muted.
Muted.
Unmute your mic, bro. God, why is this guy just?
There you go. I saw him. Wait.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Is he there? That's a key.
Oh, am I here?
Oh wow, the mute button does work. Congratulations,
no, I wasn't
man.
muted. It just when you drug me down, it said I did not have permission to speak in the channel. So
That's weird.
Oh well.
who knows?
Green room,
Yeah, well, I mean, we are trying to keep you down. Oh, there you
I
go.
mean, I
King
get
got you unmuted. See, that's
See,
why
figured it
Cuddles
out.
is the man.
See,
That's why Cuddles
See,
is
I
the
didn't
man.
mute myself.
Drastin of 7 Dungeons
Hello.
joining us
See the
live.
shirt? See the shirt?
He's got that shirt
Got
on.
the shirt on tonight.
Looks sexy. He
I
looks
love
sexy.
that shirt.
Drastin, now look, you're another big online player. You were mostly MMOs and other survival games. You weren't.
I love my spooky games.
He loves the spooky games. You weren't too sure about this one either, but you're in it and you're enjoying it as well.
Yeah, so it's no secret I'm not good at shooting games.
We know. We know. It's very evident the
yeah.
last couple of days.
It just never was my thing. Well, not since like GoldenEye, like back on Nintendo 64.
Or
Yeah,
Battlefront
30
2.
years, okay.
Battlefront 2. We had some time in that.
We had some time, but like historically, I'm not good at these games, and I
That's fair.
recognize where my fallacies are. But this game is so easy to pick up and play and do well at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's chaos at first, but then like you guys were saying, like just the teamwork is the best part.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Like I love this moving in a squad and just strip mining a place down, and it's just it's a lot of fun, even for somebody who's not good at games like that. And I can at least stay pretty competitive with everybody else I'm playing with
Right.
in this game. So the stress is what I think keeps bringing me back because it's hard
It is.
in in all aspects. So when bugs are coming out all over the place and you're yelling like, where are they all coming from?
You're trying to reload and you're running around or throw down a resupply, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then dudes in your ear like, is somebody gonna bring me back? Yeah, when there's not 40 bugs, or like you're running, I got 60 behind me, and then they drop a bomb. They're like, I just killed 60 people. I'm like, I told you, there were 60 of them back there. So it's a lot of chaos and a lot of fun. I think they have a lot of potential to do stuff. I think their bread and butter may be like events where maybe big mass events where the creatures are like pushing forward and you got to push them back, and it's just live like that all the time.
You know,
like there's no end. You do what you can to push forward and try to almost like capture points.
That's your MMO coming through. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So, because I just wondered about this too. I don't know enough about the game, so I'm asking, and maybe it's that already thing. But are there planets where you can have more squads of like 3 or 4?
No.
Jump in.
Mm-mm.
So that would
Not
be
right
cool
now.
if they added an event like a planet, like every kind of like
multiple
Diablo.
teams drop in.
Like multiple teams drop in to take on like a big thing and get some like creds or whatever we of course we don't want this to be a loot drop, but like just to be able to get different accolades. Maybe it drops a new helmet or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's not about the loot drops, but like, you know, that stuff mostly is cosmetic or whatever it is. But
and
like,
plus it'd be easy accessible for more people. Where like, you know, if you have to sit there and grind a raid over and over and only to hope a weapon drops, if you have this public event, this huge event happening where everybody that goes in is rewarded for it, I think that relieves the whole
and keep
this
the
is
friendly
annoying.
fire on too to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
Friendly
you know
fire
what I
has
mean?
to stay on.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be cool to have something like that or something in that vein.
Brian said, "Oh, interesting." Brian says, "I believe that there will be planet defense missions at the end of a push on the galactic map. It's in the trophy list." Ooh,
so that's
Interesting.
Okay. See, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure they have a roadmap in place of things, base level things, as a studio before this game took off. Where they're like, you know, here's what we can do with this game. Here's what we want to do. But I think those plans will probably expand more now that the game has really taken off. But like, Dress, I want to ask you, like, what are some things that you would like to see added to the game, other than the big events that you just mentioned?
I mean, I'm with you guys with like, eventually you're gonna find those best weapon sets for each type of enemy, and it'd be nice to have a little bit more. The game needs balance. Like the guns, I unlocked like the assault rifle one with the exploding ammo recently, and I took it into a mission and wanted to just turn it towards myself.
Oh my god, that thing is trash.
It's so trash. It's actually less damage than the gun you start with.
I thought that when I see it was less damage and it fires slower, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, it's got this explosive like round to it that's not on the original Liberator, the base one, and I was like, okay, maybe that will knock off armor from like the Charger or the smaller Terminid with the shield around, or that's its armor, but it doesn't do shit. It doesn't do anything.
Awful. So. They need a little bit of balance there, and like you said, the helmets need a little bit. Maybe a helmet that like it scans constantly, so you can see where I would love something where I could see like the
where
the
caches
further
are
away, or the
yes.
caches or something, and you got to wear that helmet for a particular mission. I think there's a lot of little low hanging fruit they could tweak.
Yeah, I don't mind if it's
huge
like
changes.
Yeah, I don't want to have anything where it's like man, like where I have to spend like 10 hours to sit there and try to find the right combo. I mean, just very basic like shit, like you said, a scan of like samples further away so you can see them quicker, or like a set perk where if you have the whole set of armor, you get like faster reload, like 10% reload speed, or just small changes. I don't want to have just this point where you can become overpowered. You know, I don't want people to find ways to break the system because there's so many different perks. I don't want to overcomplicate it like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
If I was going to add something to the game, I would say some kind of like healing abilities, like a mist or a fog you could put down where like your buddies could run through it and it heals them up a bit, or at least protects them, maybe gives them some defense. And we got the shield bubble, right? Like something more on that healing side. Like maybe if they fall down and you get to them soon enough, you can like pop them back up within 10 seconds or something, you know? I think that would be a fun little arc you could go. Cause right now it's just like run and gun, blow everything up. But like having, and again, like Tone said, like the MMO comes out in me a lot. It's that role, right? That healer role. But whether you like it, somebody picks those. Like Cuddles would run around with a big shield the other day and like could run out in front, so
Right.
and absorb those shots.
I don't.
So, yeah.
Cuddles just said I don't think the perks on the armor make much of a difference, anyways. To be honest, I mean, for the most part, I think the two that do stand out to me is the 30% arm strength, because you will fucking sail your stratagems if you're trying to like throw an airstrike, or if you're trying to throw something, and you're like, okay, I'll throw it to this thing, and that 30%, that fucking thing will sail the target, and you're just like, shit, I forgot I had that. So that one I do notice, and I do notice the 30% dip in an enemy spotting you. I wear that one a lot when I go solo, and I'm able to avoid like a lot of those wandering patrols just by
That one's big.
That one's huge, man. I like that one a lot, especially on solo. And I do agree, Brian, the reduced recoil while prone or when you're crouched, especially with like the Liberator, which bounces a lot. That thing is pretty much like a laser at that point. I use one that gives me 6 stims only because I want to heal people, but they die. It's a good idea. It's a novel concept. It's a novel idea, but yeah, it's really hard to get to somebody
Tricky.
to heal them.
Yeah, a dark planet with night vision.
Dude, imagine a Dark Knight with the automatons.
No.
It'd be like Vader at the end of where he turns on the lightsaber and you're like, oh, there he is in the dark. That'd be fucking creepy. You see a bunch of red eyes coming at you.
Sounds scary.
But hands down, like, and it's one of the things that hasn't been mentioned yet, and the best mission in the game is the ICBM.
Oh my god, that one is dope,
when
man.
you launch. So I played Fallout 76, and like one of those, you'd go deep and you launch the nuke and you see the nuke, and I was like, that's cool. When you see this thing hit in the background, I thought, oh, that's cool, it's in the background. But when you see that wind wave of debris
that blast
just start
wave
ripping over the surface and like hit you, that's just good storytelling.
It creates this world. It's immersive. It really puts you. I mean, the explosions in this game are fucking incredible. Like, really, I can't emphasize that enough. I know I've gone over it 100 times. When you blow shit up, you really feel like you're blowing shit up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the other thing I really like is like when you get to the automas, like if they hit you with a sniper shot, it knocks you down. So I was going to like throw a grenade. He hit me in the chest. I threw the grenade like. I just dropped it on myself and like killed me and Blanco and you, I think, too.
You did. And I did the same thing. I did the same thing when I had that airstrike. I was going to throw the stratagem and I got killed and it fell at my feet and it dropped the airstrike right on me. I was like, motherfucker.
Pulled a Brian.
I did a Brian. Yeah, I was Brian that did that. But no, man, I've had a blast with it, and like I said, it's great to hear other people who are really enjoying it, who typically don't play these types of games, but everyone just kind of finds a way to enjoy it.
There's something,
and that just tells you how accessible. That just shows you how accessible it is to so many people. It's pretty rad, dude. I'm a big fan of it, and I'm glad everyone else is kind of enjoying it as well. So
it's a different type of multiplayer that we've all had for a minute. I mean, we did Diablo last year, which for all intents and purposes, I love those isometric games and that kind of style, but this has got just a different flavor to it, and again, it's about the fun that I think we're all having with it right now, and there's a little something in it for everybody.
There really is. Drastin, any final thoughts?
Go and buy this game.
Go and buy the game. Like Cole said the other night, finally we have a game that the community wants to play. Join us, add us on PSN, Steam, or wherever, and we'll run missions with you.
Don't do it for us.
Do it for Super Earth.
For democracy.
Democracy and for liberty.
There you go.
Help us serve a warm cup of liberty.
Yep. There
you
go.
I love it. Drastin, thanks for calling in, brother, man. We appreciate hearing from you. Don't forget, tune in every Monday at 7 p.m.
to check out him spinning some yarn with the 7D crew there, telling their D&D stories. Pretty wild right now. Right now, especially, it's getting thick in stories. So
absolutely.
Getting thick.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Awesome. Well, Tone, I think that's pretty much all we want to say about Helldivers 2. But, hey, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below what you think of Helldivers 2. Are you having fun with it? What are some of the things you would like to see them add to the game? What are you hoping to see on the roadmap? Is this a game that you feel you're going to be playing 6 months to a year from now? All that remains to be seen. But I can tell you one thing. These live service games, when they're done right, very rarely are they the same game a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it keeps that same fun factor and just builds around that, this is going to be a huge hit for a long time to come if they play their cards right.
Yeah, I would like to see not just planets. I'd like to see like the Tominids or whatever, like maybe on a space station.
Oh, Oh man! Oh, you want to get real close encounter shit?
Yeah, like, hey, they pushed back and now they're on one of our ships or a capital ship, space station. Like, I want things like that. Like, would it be cool if there was like a low gravity like space station like kind of thing too? Like, I'm just thinking. I mean,
Hey, man.
the possibilities could be endless with this
Arrowhead,
game.
hire this guy.
I got ideas.
He's got ideas. He's got ideas. All right, Tone. Let's move on. We got some news from around the realm. We got a couple of pieces we wanted to talk about really quick. First up, Tone. In a weird way to confirm Fantastic Four, we now know the casting of Fantastic Four. They put out a little Valentine's poster that features the 4 actors that are going to be playing the Fantastic Four. We have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things as Johnny Storm. I know Crash has got some opinions on this, but I want to get your thoughts first on the casting choices we've got here for the Fantastic Four.
I have never overly been a huge Fantastic Four super fan like some folks are, and I get why they are. It's Marvel's first family. Exactly. Yeah, I knew she'd be excited to hear it. I love Pedro like anybody else as well too. I've always been very skeptical about this casting. To me, because part of the thing is we got to do this right. We've tried to do it 2 or 3 iterations. It's not done a good job. Now Marvel's finally got the opportunity to do it themselves, and I know they're keeping it close to the chest. And I know Feige's a big fan, and they know they got to make it right for the fans because of everything that's going on. So, Pedro is in essence of that a good idea for that. But to me, when I look at Reed Richards, that's just not who I necessarily see. And I feel like Gary out over at Koi's Comics is really not happy about this.
Oh, really?
And I kind of fall into the camp with him on this too. Marvel seems to be, especially with this one, I mean, don't get me wrong. You want good actors in there because you got to be able to like act. If you're really putting your chips on something, you need that. But are they casting big names just to cast some big names, or are we really casting with the best interest of the characters?
Sure.
And I kind of wonder if that's kind of part of the issue here is that I feel like we're casting to some big names. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and who knows, down the end of the road, it could be fine. I'm just saying initially that's where my skepticism comes in.
Sure.
And so listen, as goofy as it is, Chickless was great as Ben Grimm.
I liked him.
He was the best part of all of that. He's a great thing.
Yep.
He kind of worked that character perfectly, and it's fucking
which is hard to do under all that shit he was wearing.
Yeah, and it's Chickless, so he, he's the Shield, right? So, so I'm excited that we're getting this and we're moving forward and things in that nature. Don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely, I'm a little still on the fence of this.
Okay.
That's kind of how I feel about it right now. You
okay.
know?
I think I've only seen one of the Fantastic Four movies. I think it was the first one that ever came out. One with who was it?
Not the 1990 early
no,
one.
No,
that really campy one. Yeah.
No. I don't mind this casting. I like Vanessa Kirby. I like Pedro Pascal. I really like Joseph Quinn. He was amazing in Stranger Things as Eddie. And the guy playing Ben Grimm, he was solid in Andor. I know he's in something else that you mentioned.
He was in the Netflix version of Punisher as Micro.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yes, yes. Crash says, I have been a huge Fantastic Four fan. I'm not against these choices, but I'm not sold either. I feel like we need footage, and I agree. I think a trailer will definitely help with this to see how these actors will embody these characters. Yes, he is the bear on Hulu as well. It's a talented cast for sure, but with the previous movies being more miss than hit, I think Crash makes a point. I do want to see some kind of footage with the dialogue or how these characters are going to be interacting with each other. That the rapport is going to be huge for the Fantastic Four. You have to have that chemistry amongst everybody, and whether or not that happens remains to be seen. And you can get a little glimpse of that from a trailer.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that they're finally, hopefully, going to do it right under Marvel banners. So I would like to think that it's going to already kind of have a little bit of TLC, and I think Marvel and Feige all really realize that. But again, sometimes the big names aren't always what we need to make the product is, at least something good.
Gun to your head. Pedro Pascal or John Krasinski.
Oh, Krasinski all the way.
That was it. That would have been the
Yeah, I mean, listen, Pedro doesn't, like I said, he doesn't even really look like Reed to me.
right.
You know, maybe shave, the beard some and get the little white on the sides there, the patches. But
Yeah.
Krasinski even carried himself in that slightly arrogant feel. Like he just kind of got that arrogant feel out of
Yeah,
him.
like
really
he
well.
knew he was brilliant.
He knew that
Yeah.
he was, you know what I mean? And that, I know that was a fan casting, and I think most people were sold on that, but, you know, I definitely like that. But hey, he's a variant, so I get it, multiverse, whatever.
Sure. Crash says Pedro, not my first pick for Reed, but I don't
I do
doubt
think
that he'd
Vanessa's
do a
good.
good in the role. He's obviously the biggest name attached to the movie, so I get the whole we need a name aspect. I do think him and Vanessa would look like a great couple. Vanessa, she's a good pick. Good on her for getting a
She
main role in something. Yes.
Looks like fucking Sue Storm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
And
dynamite casting right there.
Yeah, she looks like Sue Storm, and like classic Sue Storm. So that definitely is exciting.
And I think with the rise of Joseph Quinn, what he did in Stranger Things, and like I said, there's a lot of buzz going around his performance in the Quiet Place sequel that's coming up this summer. I think that's a hot hire for them as well, because by the time that comes out, he might be at that AAA level, because this isn't slated to come out until July 25th of next year. So obviously it's a ways out, but we do have a date, July 25th, 2025. Fantastic Four will be officially entered into the MCU.
And the director attached to it's been, we were checking out his IMDb before.
Oh my God, yeah, the director,
I mean,
what's his name, Matt Shackman.
Yeah, he did all of WandaVision, I think, or most of it, nine episodes of that.
WandaVision. He had his hands in Monarch, The Boys, Succession,
And,
Game
like,
of Thrones,
All kinds of shit. Like when you like,
all the way back to like the 90s, I think it was, or like early 2000s.
Yeah, like there was stuff on there like Jesus that he had hands in on that site, the show Psych, which is a really kind of brilliant drama, comedy, whatever it is. But man, there's things on his IMDb. If you get a chance, just doing a couple episodes here and there, like, man, this guy's got quite a fucking.
He's worked with the best of the best when it comes to like the series and TV shows and shit. So steady hand at the helm and a talented young cast. It's there for the taking. Just whether or not they're able to deliver will be interesting.
We'll see.
Psych was a great show.
Yeah,
Sure
very,
was. What's
very-
going on, Cherry?
Very underrated show.
All right, Tone. Moving on to the next bit of news. A continuation from last week's story regarding Cody Rhodes and The Rock. Last week, people were up in arms and all pissed off because they're like, oh, so it's The Rock versus Roman Reigns now?
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? This is lame. Well, we turned it on its ear again.
Yeah, so whether or not it's long-term storytelling or not, like, I think the problem is right now, and I've said this recently, is the dirt sheets for the last 2 years with wrestling has been awful. As a Star Wars fan and a fandom of a lot of things, the worst fans are, at this point, in my opinion, wrestling fans are the most toxic. It's very tribal. I mean, everything's tribal these days now. Everything has to be a line in the sand, and it's very irritating. But it's super tribal, no pun intended here for the tribal chief. But we had the kickoff for WrestleMania in Las Vegas last Thursday, and holy shit! So I've watched this 4 times, and like, listen, I talk a lot of AEW around here because that was my choice since I didn't watch WWE, and I've recently been reacclimated to WWE, and I'm really enjoying it as well too. They're 2 different products. I got pros and cons of both of them, but if you're a wrestling fan, we're having a good time right now, right? And this stuff was pretty great. I love Cody. I want to see him finish the story like anybody else too. But when The Rock was on Pat McAfee's show last Thursday morning and was talking about the Cody crybabies and doing his whole bit and said that they can shove chicken nuggets up their ass, I was like, oh shit! Like everybody else, like, are they flipping the script now? Are we getting like heel Rock because he came out was going to be the good guy and like all that stuff, right? So he's on the TKA board. They flipped the script. If that was the plan, I don't think it was. I think they had to adjust for
that was reaction.
They had to. Yeah. But if we're getting heel Rock for right now,
that's not a bad way to go with it.
Exactly. We're getting bad. We're getting the good stuff. So, they went back and forth, did some things, talk about lineage, talk about family, and The Rock basically kind of aligned himself with Roman after he bitch slapped Cody Rhodes. So we got Elimination Chamber coming up here in a few weeks as well too. So it looks like probably Seth and Cody are going to team up and probably take on these guys. Hopefully they do like a tag with them as well too, as we then of course prepare for Mania in early April, which all intents and purposes is going to be a really fun potentially WrestleMania this year. Really excited about it. It was great. Like I said, I've watched this 4 times. It was really good to see like classic heel Rock come out and Cody just be like this over wrestler that everybody just absolutely loves. And then Raw hit this week, and it was just on fire again too. Like the people can't be enough behind Cody right now.
Isn't it wild how this just did a complete 180 from last year?
Wrestling.
Not last year, last week. I mean, like seriously, the industry was on fire and people were pissed, and The Rock is getting booed at all the events that he's at, and this and that. And all of a sudden, we come to this week, and like we flipped the script, and everyone's pumped because he got shit heel fucking Rock. I mean, it's wild how quickly that can change, man. It's crazy how quickly that can change. But I loved his little comments he made to Triple H in the tunnel. Did you see that video?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's an uncensored and a censored.
Yeah, the uncensored one's pretty good.
Yeah, fucking handle it. It's Cody shit, handle it kind of thing. And it's ironic because, like, you know, they always make the joke because DX is always fighting the establishment, and now DX is kind of running because you got, you know, Shawn Michaels running NXT, you got Triple H running, you know, the creative on this side of it, and then all of a sudden you got The Rock, who him and Triple H have had some barn burners in the past. I mean, they were great rivals, and you know they've had some amazing matches back in the day, and some like like if you go on YouTube clips, like there's some great ones of these two.
Yeah,
that going back and forth. So it's kind of interesting to see the dynamic now of this as well too, and they're quite buddies. I mean, Triple H has said, he said it last year, Mania, Rock's always got an open door to come in and do whatever he wants. Well, now he's on the fucking board, so he's gonna do whatever he wants. And some people think he's, you know, you hear all this stuff again. I know we even talked about it, I think, about him and Vin and, like, is he trying to get himself over? Well, our conversation from last week to this week is now completely different. We'll see. Who knows? It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting for sure because, like I said, if it's unpredictable, I feel like that's where you want to be.
Exactly, Ken Cuddles. Two things. He said he seems like he is going true heel. I agree. He's definitely doing that. In the past, he's more like this baby face, like heel, like whatever. He's going true old school, like, because like I said, like last week, I mean, you know, it's the chance he was getting was like 96 heel Rock chance, so they had to play into it, and that's the best way to do it. But he says it feels like they need to push the storyline to take the focus off Vince shitting on people, literally.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think there's a little bit of that as well too, and I think that's helping to move, you know, little smoke and mirrors. That's how
whatever you need to do to get past all that and move the
we know he's a piece of
forward.
Shit, so let's move forward.
All right, Tone. All right, we have
Hey Rose.
Oh, I am loving Miss Rose says I am loving the rivalry that all these multi-generational wrestlers are having right now, and the shit talking is just chef's kiss.
It is.
Can't wait to keep it going. I mean, it's pretty exciting right now. It's pretty exciting right now for WWE, and like I think Tone mentioned, it's really cool how they're kind of like doing this to like.
Yeah,
to lift everything
and
up.
honestly, I mean, just to say it, AEW, like they've announced, it sounds like Mercedes Moné, who was Sasha Banks here in WWE at one point, and Okada out of New Japan are going to show up here in a couple weeks as well too. They've got a good storyline going on right now with Swerve and Hangman at a Page. That's the best storytelling they got going there. Outside the Sting one as well too is going pretty good. So both of these products right now have some really good storylines, and again, there's pros and cons of each. You're going to get some of this, some of that over here, whatever. But if you're a wrestling fan like myself who likes all intake of wrestling, this is like, how do I watch all this in a week? So.
You're a busy man.
Yeah.
All right. We have not one, not two.
Yes, Brian.
Not three, not four, but 5 trailers we're going to hit on tonight. We'll try to get to them as quick as possible so we get to our final few topics. But it was Super Bowl this weekend, which means that we got a bunch of fucking trailers. And a lot of these trailers are actually pretty dope. Tone, you actually did a reaction trailer to this video.
Yeah.
But we're still going to do a quick discussion about it right here. We won't drag it out. But let's check out the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, okay. It's been a challenging few years, for sure. But I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Make a wish, buddy.
Wade Wilson?
Who's asking? Whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Mr. Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me. Wade, you are special. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
God, please! Oh my fuck! God, I love this part. Wait!
Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Listen, that's a teaser right there, and I know it's not a full trailer. We'll get that probably soon, but if you get a chance to check out my full reaction, check it out on TikTok. You can catch it on YouTube and every as well too. But check the socials for that. Listen, I know it's very cliche these days to be a big fan of Deadpool, but I've always been a fan of a character that is very fourth wall-y. I love that. I love the fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
I've always been into that.
Nope.
You love that.
Looking into the camera,
all that shit.
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that stuff. Even like the old Martin show used to do that once in a while
Yeah.
as well too. Like I always, but no, this was a great way to set up, because I mean he calls himself Marvel Jesus, and he's going through the motions. Like I said to you, it's like they're really setting him up to be this like savior.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, this teaser, movie and trailers or whatever's coming out, they have like there's so much shit in this movie coming.
Yeah.
Like apparently a ton of cameos. We've seen some of them, like rumors and all this stuff. So this is nothing to what the movie is even going to be, which is great. And honestly, I wanted to see more Wolverine. I know we've seen some of the leak pictures, but how they did it was smart. Like, okay, it's a teaser.
Yeah.
You're only getting to see the back of him.
Yeah.
Whatever. And there's some good, cool Easter eggs in there. The Secret Wars thing. You mentioned Dr. Doom. Crash, are you still out there? Do you know? I don't know if he is, but the rumors that somebody in there is considered Dr. Doom. I didn't hear that. I don't know.
I'll
But
see if I can show it to you. I'll see if I can pull up the clip.
Happy birthday to you. All right.
awesome. Are
Thank
there?
you.
Hey,
Sorry
hey.
about that.
So yeah, I don't know. That's questionable if it could be Doom.
Crashed. Is that's not Dr. Doom? Because there was just people speculating about that mask he's wearing, and it just shows up briefly. But I don't know if Crash is still out there. Thanks, Carls. Appreciate that. Man, I forgot that when we came out of that, it mutes it when I started the trailer. That's not him. Okay.
I don't think so, because he's got a gun. That would be the big thing there. But
Okay.
I don't know if you guys had heard what I said about like how the suppression and kind of waiting around to see Logan and Wolverine or whatever towards the end was a good way to kind of do this teaser. You don't want to show off too much or whatever it is. So, but no, I'll never forget. Ironically, Valentine's Day in 2016.
Oh yeah, that's when it came out
when the first one dropped, and I was there that fucking night, and I remember that entire thing was packed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it came out, rated R, not Marvel, but a Marvel movie, and it just lambasted, like the what is it, numbers for the couple weeks, whatever, made X amount, like a ton of money the first weekend, and then everybody's like, well, I guess there's space for R-rated comic film, and they showed it, and the right character to do it. So yeah, it was a great teaser.
Yeah, very effective. It'll be out July 26th of this year. It's the only Marvel movie coming out this year,
which means it's got a lot of weight on its shoulders.
It does.
I think there's a reason why we'll see when we watch it.
I can't wait, man. I thought that trailer was fucking sweet. So, all right, dude, let's move on to trailer number 2. Let's check out the trailer for a movie that is based on a long-running musical show that has done very well on the stage, making its way to the big screen. Let's check out the trailer for Wicked.
The best way to bring folks together
Something has changed within me.
is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green. I am. Something is not the same.
Something just takes over me. And when it does, bad things happen.
Once you learn to harness your emotions, the sky's the limit.
Bring her to me.
Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
Like, look, I don't know anything about Wicked, but that trailer would look fucking great.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are playing the Wicked Witch of the West and the Good Witch of the North, respectively. This basically takes place before the events of Dorothy's arrival. Kind of fleshes out their relationship before they kind of take on their known roles. I want to gag every time I see this.
A lot of mixed out there. All right, fair enough.
There are some critics. I actually thought the trailer looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Wicked other than it's a very popular stage play that it's done very well for the last 20 years. And it's got quite a following. But I'll be curious to see how this plays out. It's the Thanksgiving movie, so it'll be out late November. Be really interested to see how this plays out. Like I said, I think the casting looks good.
Was that Joel Kinnaman? Am I crazy?
It looked like Joel Kinnaman, but I couldn't be certain. Mixed emotions because it's going to go over Hollywood. I mean, it is. Made me think of the South Park Broadway play episode. Jeez, man, not a whole lot of faith in this one from the community. Panda is just mad because he gets carded to watch PG-13. I mean, it's a valid point. I think it looks pretty good. I'm sure eventually I'll see it. I don't know if I'll go to theaters to see it, but I'll be full. I'll be eating that weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend, so who knows?
Pooping.
Now, this next trailer, I'm a little bit indifferent on. And I know there's a lot of people that there are some people in our community and other people on social media that thought this trailer looked really good. I'm a little indifferent on it because I love the movie Twister, but Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt love Twister. We knew there was a Twister sequel coming out called Twisters. We finally got to see the trailer for that.
Twisted Twisters?
Twisted Sisters.
Oh.
Dodge whatever's in there. It's big and it's moving fast. Drive. Go, go, go! Look out! Guys, you gotta get out of here. Do you hear me? It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler. If you feel it, chase it! I said if you feel it, chase it! All right, here we go. Oh, she's perfect!
She's gorgeous.
You thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one? You don't face your fears. You ride them.
We got twins! Twins!
that it? Nope.
Like, look, man, I don't know about this one, man. I really don't.
I'll let me say this. This will be like a loosely positive thing to say. At least it's not a fucking remake of the movie.
It is not a remake. We
then
do
we'll
know
start
that
there.
this is a standalone sequel, entirely new story. It's been updated for today's methods and techniques for storm chasing, so it's not like, you know, it's gonna using today's technology compared to back in '96 when the original came out. One publication did claim that the main female lead, the blonde girl, is the daughter of Joe and Billy. But that has not been confirmed or denied. There's nothing to really corroborate that, but that is something that one publication stated that they had heard from their sources, that the girl is Billy and Joe's daughter. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's got a young cast. Glenn Powell, he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
Katie O'Brien, she's actually in that movie the trailer we watched last week, Love Lies Bleeding.
Right.
And Maura Tierney, who's been around for a while. So, but it's directed by Lee Isaac Chung. The most notable thing that he's worked on is one episode of Mandalorian. So I mean, you don't have the faces like Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. You don't have the direction of Jan de Bont, who did Speed and other movies when he did Twister. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit indifferent on this. I agree with that. Was it Jay Hill said this movie did not have to be made? I don't think it needed to be made.
Right.
But I mean, at the same time,
it's not a remake.
It's not a remake, so it's a new
that.
story. And if it is able to capture the excitement and thrills of the original Twister, which was terrifying.
Yeah.
That I remember that opening was fucking terrifying.
I'd rather not.
And I was just like, that's a lot, man. So I mean, I don't know about this. I hope it's good. I mean, obviously they're confident in it, but I think they're more confident putting out in July because it's Twisters. It's a sequel to a very popular movie. But at the same time, I'm just this trailer it looked kind of mid.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, it looked pretty mid. Is Twister the one with Zach Morris?
Was
No.
Twister the one with Zach Morris? No, that's one with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt and Cary Elwes. He was the shitty other guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was. I think that was one of his bigger breakout roles. He was Dusty. Really solid cast. I mean, I really, and the reason the thing I loved about Twister is Jan de Bont originally wanted Tom Hanks for the lead role of Billy, and when they couldn't get him, he recommended Bill Paxton. Because I think they'd worked on Apollo 13 a couple years before that.
Shit.
And he was like, they couldn't get Tom Hanks, and he was like, hey, get Bill Paxton.
Bill.
You'll really like
God,
him.
R.I.P.
So that's how they were able to get Bill Paxton.
God, Bill Paxton.
And if you ever get time, watch Frailty with Bill Paxton and Matthew McConaughey. It is from the 90s, and it is an underrated thriller, and it's fucking incredible, and it's one of Bill Paxton's best performances.
Hey, that's a fair perspective too. Cuddle says, I feel like we need these dumb chaos movies like this. We
I
get them
agree.
every year
Yeah.
with movies like Meg and the Others.
I mean,
Fair
like I said, I'm not writing it off completely. I will go see it because I love Twister and I love tornadoes, and I think you can do some really wild, exciting stuff. I don't know about this one because at least with the original, you had Bill Paxton, you had Cary Elwes, you had Helen Hunt, and this one, you just kind of got some random people sitting around.
Yeah. He said, what was a similar moment to them about saying
Atomic Twister.
Okay, fair.
I think I do remember seeing that. I think I do remember. I think Randy Quaid was in one of those movies
you're right.
too,
I
man.
think, yeah. No. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, buddy.
But, I don't know. How do you feel? I'll go see it. I'll see it.
I'm not. I think everybody's saying wait for streaming. I kind of gotta agree on that. I'm trying not to get emotional because we're talking about Bill Paxton, and that's
one of the goats.
That's an actor that I mean, even if he was still here, he's somebody to think about constantly because he was never always in a lot of the big conversations, but he's one of the most underrated in my opinion.
I mean, when he showed, his role in True Lies was fucking chef's kiss,
dude. Everything.
But you got him in Hudson and Aliens. He was awesome,
dude.
He's the only guy that's been killed by a Predator, a Terminator, and
an Alien.
So I mean,
that's something else. I think.
Actually, I think now that I think about it, Lance Henriksen has been killed off by all three now because he was in Alien versus Predator, and I think he got pieced out by a Predator. and then he was Bishop, and he got torn apart
Yeah.
by an alien, and then he got killed by the Terminator in the first one at the police station.
Well,
so
there you go.
he joins Bill Paxton as the
I
only
think
people
Bill
that
has
get
a
killed.
fourth one there that's supposed to be in there too. I don't recall, but either way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought, or yeah, there was something else about him. He's like,
Interesting.
He's also in the MCU. Well, part of the MCU.
But no,
Anyways.
yeah, rest in peace, Bill Paxton. We'll see about Twisters. I'll go see it just because I love tornadoes, but the original is just fucking sweet. Okay, now this next trailer. Tone and I read about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Who sent us a video? Was it Jay Hill?
no, I did. Oh, Jay Hill did. No, who sent that today? I think I just stumbled across it. I think I stumbled across it on.
Oh, there he is. He's being consistent,
Is that
everybody.
just mid-pool?
He's doing
Oh,
the
there it
mid-pool,
is.
Yeah, he might be on board Pedro, but all of a
That's
sudden-
Lord Crash
yeah,
is
there
here.
it is. There it is. He's back. Yeah.
Anyways, let's check out this trailer. This is I can't even really put into words how I feel about this trailer. So let's watch the trailer for
Right.
Sasquatch Sunset.
No, it wasn't Wolverine.
All right, so this is Sasquatch Sunset. Now keep in mind, he doesn't direct it; he just produces it. So he'll put his money behind something that looks fucking, unique. But this is described. Here's the description that we have: a year in the life of a unique family. It captures the daily life of the Sasquatch with a level of detail and rigor that is simply unforgettable. It's directed by David and Nathan Zellner. They've done mostly indies, and Nathan Zellner is actually one of the Sasquatches in the movie, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Riley Keough, Christopher Zajac-Dunnek, and Nathan Zellner. It's produced by Ari Aster. Now here's the thing: they ran this thing at the Sundance Film Festival. They ran this thing at Sundance. Okay, so and obviously you saw Variety was like, oh, it's a unicorn of a movie, and it's fucking you'd seen to believe. So there's a camp of people that fucking like it, that really like this movie. But this movie also had many walkouts.
Right. I can see that.
During its world premiere at Sundance. Many walkouts. Many people walked out of that fucking theater when they were watching it. And there is not a single line of spoken dialogue in this movie.
That is where I'm going to, this is where I'm going to, this is going to be a potential showpiece for these actors to be able to tell a story, whether it's good, bad, funny, or not,
actions.
with no dialogue.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, is it going to be a centerpiece for well, the movie sucked maybe to some people, but people are stepping back and saying these guys were able to handle an entire movie without any spoken dialogue and express.
It's hard to tell a story through the actions of the characters and the world around them. That's what they're gonna.
And I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying it's gonna be good or bad. I'm just saying that it's unique to the point where it almost has to be watched to see exactly if it's gonna succeed or fail. Because you look at this, you don't really know. You know what I mean? So I mean, hey, you know it. Listen, all I'm gonna say, the last thing I'll say is this: everybody always fucking bitches about fucking Hollywood and all their bullshit, doing remakes and all this other shit, and not original shit. They've got something unique, weird, and original coming out, and you're all crying about it. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
these are facts.
I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just
right. We're not
out.
saying this movie's gonna be fun. We might
Right.
be the
And I'm
last
not saying
walking
you're
out
wrong.
of this.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah,
we don't want this.
Yeah,
Brett.
I get it. But all I'm saying is,
I just want Ari Aster to make a fucking horror movie that's gonna fucking just melt my brain and just make me feel like shit when I leave the theater. Is that so much to ask? Can I just get an Ari Aster movie that makes me want to fucking hang myself after watching
maybe
it?
at the end they find a fucking family camping and they crash their skulls in it. Who knows?
Do they bang in the movie? They just showed them fucking at the beginning.
Yeah, didn't you see the?
There were two Sasquatches fucking doggy style, bro.
Well, is it? Can we call it doggy style if they're doing it though at that point?
Well, it's Sasquatch style, yeah.
Or skunk ape.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. So,
no, I'll be curious to see how this plays out. I can see this being the type of movie that Sasquatch style. There you go. I like that a lot.
Yeah, is the fucking jerky eating one gonna show up? The Jax Links guy?
Oh man, he's a badass dude.
Yeah,
that guy's a mean motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, Tone. Moving on to our final trailer.
And I haven't watched it. I wanted to wait
I have
for
not
here.
watched this either.
Okay,
I did
good,
not
okay.
watch it. Jay Hill says it looks fucking awesome. I haven't watched it, but I did not like the poster they put out today. Super fucking weird and cringe, but let's check out the final trailer for Godzilla and Kong: A New Empire.
For centuries, there was harmony. The Titans were the guardians of nature, and the great apes became the protectors of humanity. We've discovered a signal. She can feel it. Kong, Godzilla, they can feel it too. Something is coming. Something even they're afraid of. You feel like going for a ride?
Thought you'd never ask.
Just try not to swallow your tongue.
What?
Oh my God!
Is that a mini Kong?
Oh my God.
That's not just a signal. That's a call for war. What is that?
Kong can't stop this on his own.
He won't be alone.
The last time those two met up was almost the end of Kong.
They don't have to like each other. They just have to work together.
Now I have seen everything.
We've made some minor augmentations.
Oh.
Well, Tone, I know on March 28th, where we'll be on Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, like, look, that trailer makes me feel a little bit better. I didn't like this poster because I thought this poster was kind of cringe.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of goofy looking because they're really like Prime said, they're kind of leaning into the buddy cop shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's cool. The trailer actually looked pretty good. It looks like it's gonna be heavy on action. We're gonna see a lot of kaiju fights, things of that nature. Trying to figure out who's in that cave. Now I wanted to ask you, like, when they jumped into that portal, was that Hollow Earth or was that the time area that they went in Monarch?
Well, it looks like they end up in Hollow Earth, but I gotta kind of wonder if
I feel like they have to bring that back.
We're gonna get both somehow. Something's gonna happen. Yeah, because they didn't bring that up. They brought that up for a reason. I think to set up this movie. Something is gonna happen. I'm guessing to where time does play a part of it. Maybe maybe the original Godzilla. Or, we see who's ever in the cave or whatever it is. Clearly, this Godzilla, our main Godzilla Goji gets an upgrade. Probably looking at Hollow Earth. Maybe he's never really been to Hollow Earth. Maybe this is the first time he gets down there and gets powered up by the aura, the power down there. True. It looks kind of like that's what I'm guessing. Kind of the pink, the Millennium look from the Millennium movie. But the Power Glove is interesting to see that with Kong. I mean, listen,
I feel like we're kind of moving in with Godzilla 2014. We were gritty and grounded.
Yeah,
and then when we went to Kong's Skull Island, gritty and grounded.
King of the Monsters was a mostly gritty and grounded, but we started getting a little extra more to that fantasy.
Yeah,
and then I know what you're saying. Like Kong versus Godzilla was very we're leaning really into the fantasy.
Yeah, we're going heavy into it.
And Monarch even kind of did to some degree. It was a good mix of grounded in that as well too. And this is going like a little chaos. So it's interesting because you look at the old Toho movies as the same way, or any of the old movies there's this. Some of them were really grounded, and then in the 70s they went through this era of very anime feel,
very
crazy,
campy,
goofy, campy shit, and they're all campy in their own way. That's part of the allure of the OG ones.
Kong slowly turning into Voltron.
Right. I just the Power Glove thing, the Thanos. I love all the jokes. I think they're great, but it's just I wanted Legendary to kind of keep it a little bit closer to the grounded, and not just feel like it could. There's a mess going on here. So at the same time as I say that, I feel like I'm still going to be able to find enjoyment out of it as well too, for as much as you can. Listen, Kong versus Godzilla. After I saw Kong versus Zilla the second or third time, I was like, okay, because I didn't really like it initially, and I still think it's the weakest of all of them. But I can get the allure and the enjoyment out of them. I can see why people do like them.
Yeah.
More than me, I suppose. But this feels like it's definitely a lot going on. So
See, man, and here's the thing that kind of bothers me, and I wanted to get your thought. This is the one thing I wanted to ask you about this trailer. Obviously, we've seen, like you said, this progression to more fantasy. I think it almost is like a detriment to this that we saw Godzilla -1 in December, which was so grounded, which had a compelling, just really, really great story. And Godzilla, in my opinion, in -1 is more frightening than he is in any of these Legendary films.
Absolutely.
So you get a more frightening Godzilla, you get a better story, you get just more impactful action, even though it's not nearly as abundant as we're going to see in this. Man, you can't be any further apart in the vision of Godzilla than you are right now between Legendary and Toho when you compare the two.
Yeah, and I don't know, and who honestly, the success of that Godzilla might help the success of this as well too.
That's a good point.
But it also might draw a line for some people because, like I said, I know people that saw that Godzilla, never seen a Godzilla, not only thought it was a good Godzilla movie, but thought it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Yep. So they go see this and they're like, what the fuck is this? Right?
Like Carl
it's
said, I mean, it's weird because Godzilla -1 is up for best visual effects. And that now in their mind, people that have this is their first Godzilla movie, saying like, man, this is fucking awesome. This looks great. Yeah. Now you're gonna go into this shit that is CGI, or I'm sorry, it was Brian that said that it's CGI from start to finish. Probably
of it, yeah.
It's gonna be just a very different time. And again, it's just interesting to think about the differences between how far apart they are.
Right, and the human aspect has always been very prevalent in all Godzilla movies. The problem is that they've never been consistent. Some are compelling, some are good, some are bad, some are campy. Starting early on with the Legendary series, they were a little bit, again, more grounded and stuff like that. But then you got to Kong versus Godzilla, and it was like, anytime, listen, I like Millie Bobby Brown like everybody else, but I'm not going to buy a child running the narrative. And I can't.
Yeah.
And
you got Monarch around, she's running
even
shit.
when she's running around with can't think of his name.
Brian
offhand.
Tyree Henry, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and I love him, but like. Again, you see them in this movie, and it's like they're just big dumb idiots again. Like even scientists,
And even Millie was like, "I ain't coming back for this shit, bro."
Right. Well, they're probably like, "Well, your performance wasn't so great in the last one, and you were irrelevant. See you later," because nobody wanted to be attacked. Like, so where have all these characters gone? Like, originally in those early ones with Monarch and those characters, we were getting them throughout the movies, and now it's just we're back to the scientists from Kong that we really didn't care as much about.
Right.
So I don't fucking know, which means it's more of a Kong movie in my opinion.
So.
Because we're going back to Hollow Earth. So
it'll be interesting, man. Like I said, I'll go see it because I just want to see where they're taking this story and this whole Monarch thing. But I mean, like I said, man, with how good Monarch was with its story and with the way they handled the Gojis and the other what are they called, Mutos or whatever, the Titans.
Yeah.
And then with Godzilla -1, I feel like I've seen that it is possible to make a story-driven movie with these monsters.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go to this, which looks like almost like a fucking video game. Again, I'm not against it.
Yeah, like I said,
you're gonna blow
it's
shit
probably
up.
gonna be still fun and things like that. Like I like big kaiju, crazy fucking movies, so I'm gonna find entertainment in it.
Mhm.
I did in King Kong versus Godzilla, but I'm also gonna be the first one to say that was a little fucking weak on the story.
Yeah.
And yeah.
JL says I'll have to watch Monarch before this movie just in case. I mean, I do. Like I said, I think they did show things in Monarch that are going to be
some of that. Something
there's no way they're just gonna. This is a one-off.
Yeah, they didn't focus on Hollow Earth. They focused on how the Titans moved around, which has always been kind of a question.
Yeah.
I would be really bummed if they didn't use that as some plot device in this, but it didn't really look like they did. So,
So we'll see. March 29th, Tone, next month.
I'm ready.
Thursday night, we're going to go see it. We'll talk about it. Really excited. All right, Tone, we have two more topics. And then we're done for the night. First up, we got a movie review. And I like this because I think we're a little bit indifferent on this one.
Yeah.
I.S.S., which came out about a month and a half ago in theaters, made on a budget of $20 million and only made $6 million at the box office, was quickly rushed to streaming services for people to pick up. I'm going to go to you first, Tone. I want to know your thoughts. I know, look, I think you and I, when we first saw this trailer, like, man, this is a fucking sweet premise.
Yeah, the premise, yeah.
The concept of this movie is you got the space station, the International Space Station, you got a handful of Russian astronauts, and you got a handful of American astronauts, and as they're up there doing their research and whatnot, they notice that nuclear war is breaking out on Earth, and then a game of cat and mouse plays out. And I was just like, man, could be really intense. It could be claustrophobic because you're stuck on this little space station. This looks pretty dope. Cool concept. So we've seen it. Tone, your thoughts.
Very cool concept. I like the thought process. I didn't know what we would get into, what to expect, because like when you're on a space station that's literally a few tubes, what can you do to really give that feel of suspense or that feel of like that fight or flight feeling?
Sure.
And I think there was some things that they did that
the cameras.
Yep. Yeah. And some tension and stuff as well too. But like the characters overall for me were pretty fucking boring.
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely think like it felt like it took for a while to kind of get going. It definitely it felt like a snooze fest at times. I don't know if there would have been a better way. Like the fact that it was an hour and a half for a movie that I felt like had great potential. I almost felt like that was too short because I feel like if I'd have been more invested in the characters, more invested in what was going on, I think this movie could have just caught me a little bit more. I know clearly they're on the I.S.S. There's no real weapons, there's no guns, so you're limited on the things you can do. But at the same time, when things start to kind of kick it off down on Earth, like it's almost like, and I get it, like they want you to feel disconnected from that.
Yeah.
But like you're looking at it, and I'm almost kind of like, well, I kind of feel like for me to care here, I need to know more here.
Sure.
And we didn't get a lot of that. Like you're seeing cool graphics. You're basically seeing the United States fucking torched.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I want to know what's going on. I want to see that. What's happening there? It's fucking what's going on. But we didn't really get any of that either. And even with the communications, it was just like, because to me, I'm thinking, okay, each side is saying take control of the space station.
Jay Hill, I'm glad you mentioned that because Jay Hill just said, it seems weird to me if nuclear war broke out, why wouldn't they band together because Earth is basically destroyed, no more countries? And that's a good point. But as you alluded to just now, as they're up there, they don't know what's going on. They don't
Right.
understand the significance of what's happening. They don't know who's instigating what. And then the two commanders of both squads are basically getting these communiques from their respective leadership down on Earth, saying, "Hey, look, war has broken out between our two countries, and you are the ISS is a strategic foothold now, and we need you to take command of the ISS by all means necessary."
Yeah, well,
so
here's-
they're all getting their orders.
So the ISS is more than anything just a joint scientific space station. It's not like there's fucking weapons on it.
Sure.
So like, of all things while a war's going on, the first thing these guys are thinking, man, hey, the 2 or 3 of you should probably take over the ISS from the other guys with your no weapons and do something about it.
By any means
Like, right.
necessary.
So like already the premise to me, like,
He's a
while
stapler.
Right. The premise is a neat concept, but it just feels like, well, what does it fucking matter?
Right.
They're not going to do anything up there. You're not going to do anything up there. Your country's towards. What are you going to fucking fly up there and go, oh, here's your lunch, by the way. Thanks for taking it over. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing you're going to do at that space station. I don't know. Because that's my point. Like, you don't know what's going on necessarily down on Earth, and that's fine. But, like, to drive the narrative of why it would be so important in the middle of a fucking nuclear war for you wanting 2 or 3 of your comrades to take over there's no reason to.
Sure.
There's no like consequence one way or another for that.
Right.
Except for, well, the Russians got it. Ha ha ha. It's kind of it's kind of dumb in that way. So, it just felt like instantly like I didn't feel like that there was any real thing to lose or gain by doing
Sure.
this. Again, like I get it. I get the premise and everything, but it was hard for me to be invested because I didn't know exactly what was going on Earth. Now, if they'd have said there's a secret protocol up here or a certain thing, whatever, I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like, hey, we need this because this, that, and the other. But it just didn't feel like that at all, So there was some cool scenes in it, but I'm gonna stop about talking now and let you say your words on as well too. I'm gonna use this for a moment to promote something that I've been watching recently, which dealt with this exact same thing. A show called For All Mankind on Apple Plus. We're nearing the end or the mid of the 4th season of that. Just came out this last fall. It's a different timeline of if Russia had landed on the moon first. This concept not only was done and has been done in that series, way better.
Really? Okay.
And I'm talking
That's
like
probably the benefit of being a series as opposed to a 90-minute movie.
So when I'm watching this, I'm just like
seeing this done better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And weapons were involved, and it was like pretty fucking tactical. So to watch this, I'm just like, man, like, I hate to say it because I'm watching this parallel to this, but it made me think like, it was all right, but it's a science space station.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's all.
I get it. And like I said, I didn't think it was the best movie ever. I enjoyed it a little bit more just because I knew going in it was a 90-minute movie. Had this been a 2.5-hour movie, I probably would have been really irritated with, because you are on the International Space Station. It's a little ship. It's a little station.
Yeah.
Very few areas to go to.
About 2 yum-yum rockets.
But I really liked just the whole cat and mouse game, and like kind of like the suspense of like, do we trust these guys? Because I feel like that's what would be going on. Because that was probably one of the parts that I liked most about the movie is when Chris Messina is getting that communique from Houston saying, hey, take over. And the other guy's like, well, I mean, if we just got that message, there's a good chance they got it. So automatically you're creating that friction. Like, are we in danger?
I got like mild Crimson Tide vibes from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, at the same time, there's no weapons on board, but like, I felt like, getting that communique saying, oh, well, if we're getting that with no weapons on board, what are they getting?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, you're kind of making it more of a, this is going to get really fucking nasty up here, hands-on type of shit. But I mean, it was short and to the point. So I appreciated that. Like I said, 90 minutes, didn't waste up a whole lot of my time.
Breezy.
I got to sit there and watch it. I wasn't too concerned about what was going on Earth and where these characters came from, simply because I knew it was a 90-minute movie. I was like, I just want to see how they're going to get the fuck out of this situation. You want to make it claustrophobic and you want to play Let's Hunt One Another? I'm there for that. I want to see human beings down to the fucking nitty-gritty using their hands trying to fucking defeat one another. I think that shit's hot and fun. But like it is short and to the point, and it relies mostly on suspense, as both crews are kind of like racing against the clock, because there is this other impending doom that's fallen upon the space station, and they use some weird fucking reason to justify why they're trying to get the space station, because there's a radiation cure for radiation poisoning, and that's why the U.S. or the Russians want what they're
Is that what I missed on that? Apparently,
yeah, because dude, that's why when it came up, I was like, that's okay. I could have done without that.
I must have just missed that because, like I said,
one of the people was working on a radiation poisoning cure.
I guess
and because nuclear war broke out, they're like,
yeah.
we need that to cure our people.
Panda.
Thanks, Panda. So I mean, that part was kind of meh. The casting was okay. DeBose and Asbeck are both fine. DeBose is the female lead for the Americans. Asbeck is actually, he was Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah. He was
from Game of Thrones.
He was the drowned guy, or he thought he was the drowned.
Yeah,
guy.
he thought he was, and like he was also in Overlord. He was awesome as the Nazi.
He's an awesome actor.
So I mean, he was good as a Russian, and I actually liked his role because I thought for sure I was like, okay, when this movie started, I was like, oh, he's in it. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, right.
He's the fucking bad guy. He's gonna be a slime ball. He's gonna be a scumbag. And but he was really good. He actually got to show a little bit of range. I mean, they were fine. Chris Messina is largely wasted in this movie.
Absolutely.
He's probably the most notable actor out of the group, and he is largely wasted. And the rest of the cast is just kind of mixed. But the ending, I thought the ending was kind of weak. I would have appreciated something more of a. It was really weak.
It was fucking dumb.
That was the like I was honestly perfectly content with that movie for 89 minutes, and then when we got to the ending, I was just like, I was like. I mean, it was weak, but I appreciated the workmanlike effort. I mean, honestly, man, this movie was made for $20 million, and by all accounts, they did the best they could.
Sure.
And I thought they did a pretty good job at, like, again, I love claustrophobic like settings, like The Descent. That really hits me. So like in these settings, I was like, man, this is kind of creepy. But yeah, the ending was pretty weak.
I was puzzled by that.
I was seriously. I was like, oh, come on, man. We can do something a little bit more climactic than that. You know, it was just
cool.
That was a bummer. But I didn't dislike everything leading up to that. I actually thought it was like cool, effective, workmanlike for $20 million. You got a cool premise. You know, I mean, with a bigger budget, but would have been over the top. Then would have been just like really stupid and unbelievable. What's the ending? I'm never going to watch.
No, we're not going to spoil it. You got to watch it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
There might be some people who want to see it, and I get it.
Hey, listen, it's not the worst movie I've seen.
It'll be forgettable.
If you pass it, you're not missing anything.
Yeah, I mean, you might actually sit down if it's a Saturday night and you got nothing going on. 90 minutes, you can it's not a killer. It starts and it's done. Yeah. Whether or not you like the ending, that's up to anybody. But we want to get your thoughts. If you saw I.S.S., whether you saw it in the theater when it was in there for 2 weeks, or when you watched it on digital when it launched a month later, let us know your thoughts on I.S.S. I didn't hate it. I thought it was an okay flick for what it was trying to do, but I do understand Tone's criticisms of it because, by all accounts, I mean, if you really start to think about it, if you put a lot of thought into it, there's a lot of holes.
And again, I'll like I said, because I'm watching that show right now, like it's spoiled me on like space espionage a little bit in certain spots. So like,
this is like the Cliff Notes version of that show.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo that somebody did it really good. So either way, whatever.
Want to get your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Tone.
Yeah.
We have one special segment to talk about before we close out for the night.
Oh, it's special.
It is special.
Jesus Christ.
For a reason.
Yeah, I knew this was fucking happening.
Yeah, you knew it was happening.
You're a piece of shit.
Halo Season 2 is out now.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Episodes 1 and 2 are available now on Paramount Plus, and I sat through both episodes, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
After the disappointment that was Season 1. The campy, kind of weak story, convoluted story, a lot more camp than I would have liked. Some shoddy CGI, some disappointing battles, some weird character arcs. The first season was very kind of like just underwhelming. So for me, I mean, you fucking hated it.
Not the only one.
And he's not the only one. I do feel like this is a show that is very divisive, more hate than probably love, and I get that. But I actually sat through the first 2 episodes, and from my perspective, it is an improvement over the first season, which isn't hard to do.
Saying a whole lot.
It's not saying a whole lot, but I will say this, man. It's definitely an improvement over the first season in terms of its pacing, its storytelling. It's more focused. It's not campy, and the action is actually pretty good. I know there's a lot of things you disliked about the movie, and the reason the series, and the reason I'm looking at it a little bit differently now is that they've already established we're not following the Halo storyline that we know, and I mean, watching The Last of Us, I can appreciate when somebody follows the storyline the right way. You as well. You're like, man, this is fucking sweet. They did a great job
video
with
game media and turn it
into a great thing. The way I'm going about this now is like, look, I love sci-fi, and I know you do too, and I'm not saying you don't. I just understand how important Halo is to you. I don't have that. That's the difference between him and I. He fucking loves Halo games and the franchise and what they've established and what Paramount Plus could have easily mined for their stories in the first couple seasons. Mm-hmm. Start with the Master Chief's story that everyone knows, take it to the big screen or the little screen, and then if you want to expand on it later on down the road, cool, but you've established things that, is lore, like The Last of Us did. This one set it up in the first season. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want. And then we're going to have Chief doing uncharacteristic things. But this season, I decided I'm going to watch it just to see what it's like because I love sci-fi. And I'm going to go into it with the same mindset I did with Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal is doing its own thing. There's certain things that they do a little bit better in terms of like paying homage to. But I mean, Twisted Metal's never really had like a real solid narrative like Halo has.
And it's not really had entries as frequent.
Exactly.
Or extra media.
And then I'm also trying to go with it, look into it as like how they plan to do Fallout. Fallout's going to be like just another story in the world of Fallout, which you can mine Fallout and Last of Us. Like we know that HBO is looking at other spin-offs. The last because you can mine stories and create stuff. It's a wide open universe.
Fallout is an endless story because you could have a gazillion vaults and time frames.
Bingo. So now coming back to Halo, I've like accepted. I'm like, hey, look, we're not following Chief's story that we know in the games. That's fine. I'm not fully invested. I've only played Halo 1, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite. I haven't done 2, 3, 4, and I know that 2, 3, 4 is where the meat of the story is.
Oh, yeah.
But watching this, like, I'm looking at this from a production value and from story. And like, I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I do feel like it's a vast improvement over the first season, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, what? Like, I know you're not watching, but is there anything about the show that you're curious about?
Yeah. So, did they change the Cortana actress?
Actually, I think she is different now that I think about it. Because I thought when they showed her, I was like, she looks different.
Right. Yeah, I remember you talking about that beforehand. So. That to me would be like a weird like I don't know why. I mean,
I didn't think there was a major issue with her
unless they're trying to make a bit like how like in the games progressively over time like graphics got better because of the graphics
possible
and limitations.
Which is the weird thing to focus on if you're doing that with your show.
What about Quan?
That was the thing that I really appreciated the most, and I mean maybe they're trying to reset Quan's character and her storyline, but Quan in the first season, in my opinion, was one of the weakest links. Mm-hmm. Like I just did not like her performance. I didn't like her character's
She got
decisions.
too much screen time for an irrelevant kid. Like it just didn't.
I didn't like her story arc. I didn't like any of that shit.
No.
She is in the first 2 episodes, but it is a much more reduced role. Like she is very like I think she's gonna play a part in Soren's storyline with his son. But by all accounts, she is almost like irrelevant in the first 2 episodes.
Okay. Now, what about the CGI? Which I like the action spots where it turned into a video game in the first.
Oh, when you got
one. It's campy. You saw the radar.
Yeah.
He actually had the fucking helmet on.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. I thought but the CGI wasn't great. Like, did that look better?
I thought it looked pretty good, but I think they did a good job at masking it this time because I feel like in the first couple of episodes of the first season, it was broad daylight.
It looked like CG.
It looked like CGI. In the first episode, there was an awesome battle on, is it Sanctuary, I think, where the fight is? I think it's Sanctuary. And they're going up against the Covenant, but it's foggy. It's kind of at night. Like, basically, the planet is under attack. Like, it's going to get blasted over. And there is an awesome battle scene where Chief is trying to find some Marines that are missing. He goes up into this fog, and like you see this energy shield appear in the fog, and like these Covenant soldiers come bouncing out. And there is a nice little good night. Hey, thanks, Crash. Thanks for hanging out, dude. there was a nice action sequence there where he's battling multiple covenants, and that was really nice. And it was cool because they're in the fog, so it kind of masks some of the, if the CGI is dodgy, it's kind of hidden underneath there, but it does maintain some excitement. Like, it's pretty cool because, I mean, he's in the fog and he's battling covenant, and you see these energy swords everywhere. So that part of it was cool. And there was another, I think there was another scene in the second episode that was like kind of in the dark again. So they're kind of masking it so it doesn't look so like CGI.
Right.
Where it's in the dark, it's easier to cover that up.
Okay.
So I really like that part. I thought the action was pretty good, but it's also Ackerson, who is like the guy who's taking over for Halsey, because Halsey was like, I think she was in prison in the last season, and so she's being held accountable for her crimes. And Ackerson is this guy from O&I who is taking over her role. And he is like that typical British actor who you just like, I hope he fucking dies at some point. And he's very menacing, and he kind of goes toe to toe with Chief in like, in terms of like in the bureaucracy of things, like, you know, not so much in the battlefield, but like just two egos going at one another. And they have some really good scenes. He is a dick. He's a total dick, and you're just like, he's kind of giving off those Joffrey vibes, like, you know, I hope this guy gets pieced out.
Right.
But it's effective. Like, he's a good actor. Like, he's really good, and the scenes he has. But the thing I like about the story is it's building up. It's not feeling rushed. They're leading up to something. You're not sure who to trust just yet. You don't even know. Even though Ackerson is somebody who's super fucking annoying, and you're just like, I fucking don't like this guy. I'm also wondering, I can't help but wonder if there's more to him than that. You know, because him and Chief early on, they kind of established like this understanding, like Chief's like, oh, you used to be in the field. You've seen combat. So they kind of have that connection, but he understands that Ackerson is also on the other side of the table. He's the business guy, whereas, you know, Chief's the grunt, so to speak.
So he's talking back and forth with them?
Yeah, a little bit back and forth. So they're going back and forth. There is, you know, a mutual respect at first, but then they kind of start getting under one another's skin. And Ackerson, at first you're just like, man, this guy, he's going to be a problem. But at the same time, at the end of the episode 2, you're just like, I wonder what's going on with Ackerson. There's something going on with him. So it's interesting. Like, I just feel like it's done a good job at not rushing the story along. It's not putting up like obvious signs like where it's going. They're really building up like, what is the Covenant up to? What are they doing? And I really appreciate that. Like, you know, you've got that mystery. You kind of got some good action. And with Soren's storyline, it's getting really interesting. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with him. Halsey is still there. And Ackerson has a plan for her, but I'm not sure what that is yet. So it's he's too shady. He's definitely a bad guy. You think so? I mean, I get it. He on the surface, you're like, this guy is a fucking scumbag. Somewhere he's gonna be a problem. There's just something else. Or they wouldn't have established that point where like they have an understanding about, they have something to connect on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just it is an interesting story early on. It's not campy. If there was one campy spot, it's when they turn the focus over to the rubble, which is kind of like this lawless area where Soren's hanging out because he's a fucking pirate. And they kind of lean into like, I mean, this is Wild Wild West, so we got to make things extra, kind of like over the top goofy. And I was like, I could have done without that. By all accounts, they've kept that to a bare minimum. And the story has got me to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to see where they're going with this.
So I'm going to guess the helmet's been off most of the time? Outside of battle scenes.
He's had it off, yes. Okay. We've seen him go to dinner. We've seen him go to certain spots, but yes, the helmet
at this
has
point,
been
he's
up.
fucked in the goddamn show. So I mean, we might as well watch him take a shit while we're at it too, since he's shitting all over the goddamn.
Did he take a shit? He was in the bathroom. I don't think he took a shit.
Well, I mean, they're shitting all over the fucking series. Why not?
I get it, and like I said, like, you know, if they would have done with The Last of Us what they did with season 1 of Halo,
they might. Yeah, everybody might.
I would have been fucking pissed. Yeah. Like, you know, we got Ellie and Joel, but we're doing a whole fucking different routine. Right. I would have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Yeah, and well, the thing I think at this point now, even if I had debated going back in season 2, the fucking what's his face, I don't even care about him anymore. Like, and I really liked him in American Gods, so I was excited of him to play this role. After he's sitting there like a fucking puppet with a hand up his ass, and the whoever's running the show, and they've been doing their fucking world tour of advertisement for it, and doubled down on a lot of the fans' reactions about it, and going, well, it's not really, you know, we're trying to do something, do blah 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 about the helmet again and stuff like
Oh, you're talking about Pablo Schreiber?
Yeah, like at this point,
Yeah,
if
he should have kept
you
his mouth
fucker,
shut.
you fuckers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
or
that wasn't a good
or
move.
they could have addressed it a little bit more like, hey, we understand it's not for. That's not the way they addressed it.
Yeah, he made it sound like he was saying grow up, and I was just like,
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
you
okay,
can't do
guy.
that.
Well, you're literally playing a character that then at this point you don't clearly get and enjoy because you're if you wanted anybody to get on board with you.
You just fucked that up. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
at
remember
this point.
reading those comments, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, dude, shut up, man.
That's not the way you roll it to the
That's
people.
not how you.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
how you fix the
This-
things that you've wronged them on.
This series would not exist if it weren't for the people playing the games and the books for 20 fucking years.
Boom.
And you should be kissing their ass for you having a fucking job, you piece of shit.
You know,
So,
and it's just
kiss my ass.
wild to me because Microsoft and 343 are involved in this, and for them to like not even try
well,
to dial back.
To be fair, 343 over the last fucking
They
10
don't even
years,
know where they're going with Halo.
yeah, I was gonna say their track record hasn't been so great anyways. So,
But circling back, I just want to say, like, look, like, I understand because again, if they would have done this to The Last of Us and butchered it, I'd be fucking flipping tables over and shit. But I don't have the same perspective that you do with Halo. I don't have the hours played in the stories. I don't have years invested. But like from a standalone perspective, like watching just a sci-fi action show where they're really building up story around a different type of story. As a standalone story, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of cool with this because the action's awesome. I like Chief's character. I actually think he's actually a little bit more relaxed in his role. He doesn't seem so wooden. Like, actually, he's got some good scenes. But I just like what they're doing in terms of the story, building up some of the arcs that they're going to explore this season. So I do think it's an improvement over the first season. I didn't really care for the first season. They've improved on the shitty CGI. They've improved on the pacing. They've given Quan less time. Now, if you want to ease her back into it, but make her story so her character isn't fucking annoying, I'll hear you out. But right now, with what's going on with Soren and what's going on with Halsey, and then obviously what's going on with Chief and his team, and what the Covenant's up to, I think they've done a really good job at like going, hey, let's make this shit interesting and let's get people kind of invested into it. So I thought they were decent. I thought the first two episodes were they were good, but compared to the first season, they were really good. So I was like, finally, we're moving it up in terms of quality and the writing and the presentation. So I didn't hate it, but I'll be curious to see how it plays out. But I did want to get your thoughts. I want to get your questions because I know I don't expect you to watch this, but I did want to get you to ask, questions about what changes they could have possibly made that would have improved upon the shit show that was season one.
yeah, it's tough because I don't have a whole lot other than just a couple things that really bothered me the first one. So
yeah,
but like I said, I have no interest in. Like I said, if they want to try and get anybody back on board, they had their opportunity and they completely lambasted that. And when you go into like the different the Halo Reddits, the this, that, and the other, the fan or even the comments to the fact where like they tried to show me a Halo advertisement on Facebook and I blocked that and said, don't ever show me this again.
Wow.
I mean, listen, and everybody wants to watch. That's fine. To me, I believe in full on that. It's about principle for me. It's about integrity, and it'd be like watching the Big Lebowski, but he doesn't have a sweater. So
that'd be that would bother me.
There's certain nuances and character things that are important that make the characters. And I know limitations in the video game was why it was a quiet stoic hero, but they played into it throughout the time period as the game progressed and made it part of the character's background. And he wants to go out there and say he can't tell a story or whatever with a helmet on.
That was cringe.
The Mandalorian's got something to tell you, so it is what it is.
Personal experience. If I wanted to experience the best Halo story, which game am I playing?
Halo 2.
Halo 2. That's the best one to go with.
Yeah,
okay.
and they cut out a quarter of it because of time. Microsoft made them push it out. Go figure. Yeah, there's a chunk of that game. There's like 15 missions, 16 some missions. There were supposed to be more. That story was supposed to be even more in depth and a little bit longer, and they cut out a lot of stuff. But you learn a lot. Like even compared to the first, like you jump to the second, you learn a lot about the Halo universe. You get Keith David in there as the Arbiter.
Yeah, Arbiter.
You're teaming up with the Arbiter. You're learning about the Grave Mind and everything, and how it all connects with like the Flood and everything. Like
Man, I gotta play the second one,
it's much much more deeper.
I heard Reach is really good too.
Reach is really fucking good. Reach is
is that pre-cheat?
Yeah,
though?
so Reach will probably. I think I heard rumors Reach might come up into this too because
they do mention Reach in
Reach is a big thing, and I think they're going to try and tell a probably watered down bitch version of that in this because it's classically one of the main planets of like the core systems that gets glassed over by the Covenant.
Sure.
And the Noble team is all part of that, and you play Noble 6, and and the missions are so varietied, well done at that game and that was the last one that Bungie did, and that story was absolutely incredible, and the 343 and the multiplayer is really good. It was like a good mix of like Halo 3 and Halo 2, whereas Halo 3 was more fast paced. So yeah, Reach overall is the best, hands down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, well, Halo 2, for multiplayer. I could understand if people liked Reach more than Halo 2. Story-wise, because it's Chief, Halo 2.
Oh, okay.
But I can understand why a lot of people, Reach is probably my second favorite overall of the series.
Okay. Interesting. Awesome. Well, hey, we want to get you guys the girls' thoughts. What do you think of Halo Season 2 so far? Episodes 1 and 2 are available now on Paramount+. Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Tone?
Yes.
That, my friend, is going to be that. For next week's show, we'll be talking about True Detective Night Country. The season finale is this Sunday. Yeah. They'll be wrapping things up. Brian, thanks for hanging out, brother. I'll see you out on the battlefield defending Super Earth and fighting for democracy and liberty. Looking forward to that. What movie should we watch? Should we finally watch Mission Impossible? Should we stop fucking around and watch Fallout this weekend?
We could. Yeah. I mean, is it now on Paramount?
It's yes, it's everywhere.
I think it's probably time we get that.
I just watched Fallout the other day and I was like, dude, I gotta stop fucking around.
Yeah, I think we haven't talked about it yet. I think I'm one of the reasons is I'm too scared to know that we're coming to the end of the line of the series too. I feel like
I know. Is it this year or is it next
year
that it comes out? I think it's this year.
It's this year.
Wow, man.
So we could probably fuck around and watch that as well too. I know there's a Nick Cage movie out there that I've been wanting to watch, which is that retirement one or something like that.
Retirement Plan.
Yeah, I really want to see that too. But we could probably I mean, I got to try to figure out when I can find time to get a movie in this weekend, but yeah, we could probably talk about Mission Impossible as well. But
we'll actually have that. So we'll have a movie. We'll let you know on the socials and in the Discord what we're going to try to watch. We'll have True Detective Night Country, the finale. We'll talk about the season. And then obviously tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, Xbox will be doing their business strategy reveal, which we'll find out what the plan is for Xbox going forward in terms of releasing their games. Today, Sea of Thieves put out a very cryptic tweet that said roses are red, or some lifeboats are red, some are blue. There's one that is green, and there's one that's white. They might be referring to Epic Game Store. So even Sea of Thieves is putting out a cryptic tweet that could be telling people, hey,
we could be in for wild times ahead.
So tomorrow will be a big deal. We'll definitely talk about that. Tricky has just said, tell the dude to watch Thanksgiving.
It's awesome.
That's what he said. Maybe I'll watch that. So you don't have to worry about it, and we can talk about that too next week. I'll be able to watch both, so that'll give us 2 movie reviews.
Yeah, I might be able to sneak in.
Whatever's going on around the realm, and then True Detective and the Xbox stuff. So we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Twitch. I will be live on Friday night, possibly Call of Duty, more than likely Helldivers 2. Yeah. We're going to be playing Helldivers. I will sit there and say Call of Duty. Dude, I've played Call of Duty one time since the season started because fucking Helldivers 2 came out.
Fine.
Plus, I'm not playing Call of Duty because Britt won't fucking play with me.
That's true. She won't.
Because apparently I can't handle the way she talks to the 12-year-olds on Call of Duty. That's
vile mouth.
That's really not fair. I can be pretty fucking disgusting too and mean.
That's true.
So Friday night, 9 p.m. right here on Twitch. If you can't make it next Wednesday, we'll be back with another episode of Banter Babble. It'll be the last episode we had because the following week we might do a community stream, but we might just take that week to prep for the Midland Mall Comic-Con. And then the following week after that, I will do a community stream on that Wednesday.
After the Comic-Con?
I'm going to do one after that. If we don't do one the week of prep, I almost don't know if I want to do one the week of prep just because I got to get everything set up. I don't want to
think you
waste
should
the
take
night.
the time to do that. Yeah, and we'll debate on that because after you do like 2 days of that, you're pretty tuckered out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I got Monday off, so I'll be able to recharge.
okay.
And if I'm
Well.
just playing a game on Wednesday, that's just
Okay.
Mario Kart or some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Get everybody okay. Sounds good.
So that's the plan for this weekend. Tone, anything you got?
Yeah, just make sure. Let's try.
You tried really hard.
Wow. It's past my fucking bedtime. Don't forget, of course, wearing the shirt. 7 Dungeons going to be live every 7 p.m. Mondays. Did I get that out again?
You struggled with that, too.
Monday night, 7 p.m. Check out 7 Dungeons and the crew. Drass and Spin and Yarn over there telling some great D&D stories. It's really, really thick right now. It's good storytelling, so make sure to peep that. And, of course, weekly you can check out throughout the week, as I keep trying to talk my words, 2 or 3 times. Half-Ass Beer Review is throwing out some great content right now with his shorts, with his main videos, and he is getting into some deep dives when it comes to beer news as well too. Doing some good stuff. Really, really appreciate that. So make sure to check him out over there on YouTube. And as always, King Cuddle streams throughout the week too. You'll probably see a lot of Helldivers as well, and a variety of different things. Apparently, maybe some GTARP is back as well too. So check out our friends. Make sure to give them some love as well, and do all you always do. We appreciate you being here on Wednesday nights. But hey, if you see us on YouTube, that TikTok right now, !TIK.
Oh,
if you're not following us TikTok, please follow us TikTok. It is definitely a passion project right now. We're really trying to make that move and get that push going on up there. Get some content. So please give us some reposts on that when you see things as well too. Those likes, comments, reposts. Really huge for us on anything, but right now we're really focused on that. So appreciate you.
He nailed it after stumbling out of the gate. He did good. For
getting
Fanboytone on the Dude79, we'll see you Friday night. If not, we'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.